Welcome back. It's a Monday morning. You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, buddy.
What's going on, female buddy?
Doing good, buddy.
A chilly 29 degrees to start, but it'll get up into the high 30s, low 40s, depending on where you are. Bro, we're looking at 50 by Thursday.
Yeah, not a lot of rain either.
Yep, just slowly climbing. 55 by Friday. That one has a chance for rain. But, beggars can't be choosers.
That's Friday.
Let's talk about something that is no longer socially acceptable. And in reality...
there's a lot of things.
Okay, and this is not dirty or... it is creepy.
All right, but not dirty.
No. It can be construed as creepy and dangerous.
All right.
So last night, my daughter had one of 37 hockey games she had this weekend. So it was at the Tim Hortons Iceplex out there in Henrietta. Or Brighton, the campus MCC.
So that's all right.
It's like
the
the
one
big
I see from the road.
You got it. That's the one. So... Just a ton of events there last night. The place is slammed. You can't find a parking spot anywhere. So I luck out. I get a spot. We go inside, and we're waiting for my daughter's game to start. And my wife, she goes, I need a coat for the ice rink.
A coat?
A coat that she left in the car. She left her coat in the car at the ice rink. So I go, all right, I'll go get it. So I go outside, and I'm walking all the way out to my car. I'm out in the back. And there's a car slowly behind me. And, I don't notice it at first, but then, this person is right up on me. But I'm not thinking anything of it. Just don't get hit by this car.
Yeah.
So I get to my car. I unlock it. I go into the front seat. I get my wife's coat, and I turn around to go. And the guy's got his window rolled down. He goes, well, what are you doing?
What?
I go, what are you doing? Nothing? You're not leaving? You go, no,
Just waiting for that spot.
Yeah,
I had following you around.
Yes. I go, I had to get my coat. He just starts making old man noises and peels away in his parking lot. Yes, he followed me, assuming I was leaving the
rink. He was going to jump into your spot.
To take my spot. And first of all, you're upset with me for getting a coat out of my car, which bothered me. But I think more important for this discussion.
What's that?
It's time to stop following people for parking spots.
Yeah, it probably was never a good idea.
Was the lot full?
Lot was totally full. People were parking on the road at MCC. Okay. It was so busy.
Yeah.
But, the phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Tommy, have you ever been a spot follower?
Yes, I have. I don't care where I park.
Okay.
But every woman I've ever been with always wants to get the closest to the pin.
Bro, thank you.
Always.
Why? Your legs don't work?
Yeah, especially if it's nice out. Last night wasn't a bad night.
No.
You could walk.
Yeah.
There's no snow. There's no ice. It's actually a pretty pleasant night. It's no big deal.
It's at the point in my life now, to your point, if there is not a spot within 50 yards of the door, I have to drop off my wife and kids and then go find myself a spot. Which I get, 2 minutes of peace and quiet. I don't hate that idea. But,
but that's always the way.
What the hell, man? Are you a spot follower, Kimmy?
If there are no other spots, yes. Because I'm afraid if I park outside of the parking lot, I'm going to get towed.
Okay.
So I will follow. If I see somebody walking, I'll follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait either. I don't have patience to wait. If I think that person's leaving or something, I'm not sticking around.
But again, I won't follow if there's a spot available. I'll just park in that whatever spot's open.
All right. The phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. No matter what the situation, here's why you're a massive dick if you're a spot follower. First of all, you are creating an uncomfortable situation for the person walking.
I feel like you have to walk faster.
Okay, there's that. If you realize that they are spot following, now the pressure is on you to get to
in
the
your
car
car and
faster.
get out of that spot.
But there are folks I did not realize what this guy was doing. Now, granted, I'm a 6'3" dude, right? So I'm not scared he's gonna kidnap me. But if somebody's spot following Kimmy, slowly tracking her behind her with their car, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to do to me here, right?
Yeah, you're the aggressor in the situation.
Thank you. Problem 2. Let's say I get to my car, and now I realize that you are waiting for my spot. The pressure of having to get in that car.
Buckle up and go.
Thank you, right? And here's the thing, man. They will be visually upset if you are not moving fast enough for them to get that spot.
How dare you?
Because the constant fear is there's going to be someone coming from the other side that's going to snipe that spot if I pull out the wrong way from you.
Yeah.
The worst is when you're trying to put bags in your car, if you're at Wegmans.
Or a hockey rink.
Hockey rink, right? Yeah, you're just doing something, and you're I feel like I got to rush this along now. I got to put the cart back.
It was the weirdest thing. Like, this guy felt he was entitled
Yes.
to my spot. And I don't
You
get...
gave him a pump fake and it pissed him off.
But that's not on me. That's on
No.
you idiot.
I know.
Right? Like, there's a parking lot way across the street. You could have parked that and walked. Not my fault.
It's just lot rage.
Thank you, man.
So I remember the one time I went to the public market with my father-in-law, my old father-in-law, Tony. And we're pulling in, and this woman... No, I'm sorry. We're pulling out. We're leaving. And this woman goes, "Are you leaving?" And I said, yeah, you want to come in. So as I pull out, this other dick comes around. I didn't even see him. Squeezes
Swoops in.
and parks.
That's a dick move.
And my father-in-law goes, "Hey, buddy." And he goes, "That woman was supposed to get that spot." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sucks for her." Like, he walks away and he goes, "So my father-in-law, what kind of man takes a woman's spot?" Like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to get into Tony's going to rip this guy apart in the middle of the public market.
Well, here's the thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with dude that snuck in, right? There's no dibs on parking
I
spots.
know, but he thread the needle and got right in there,
Well,
man.
but like, here's the thing. Like, okay, you have an agreement with this woman.
Yeah.
But you don't own that spot.
No, I know. I just I'm pulling out. Yeah, it's yours.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even that discussion in the front, like, here is the spot. That's not
Yeah.
your spot to give.
It's
Man.
it's true. But he was like, "So I don't care."
I mean, yeah, I guess like if you're just willing to face the consequences, you don't care about looking like a dick, go for it.
Yeah.
Well, like, what's the worst that happens? Well, okay, actually, I should take that
Yeah,
back because we've seen a lot of
yeah.
terrible things
Oh, yeah.
happen road rage-wise, right?
Yeah.
But, like, odds are, if I snipe that spot from you, which I do not feel guilty doing, because, again, it's every man for themselves in a full parking lot, nobody owns it. Nobody owns it. This is the...
What if it's a little old lady? You see her and she gets out of her car and she's got to walk like a mile to the door.
Got the walker.
Yeah.
Should have gotten
The wheelie one.
Should have gotten a handicap.
You wouldn't
placard
feel
there,
like
lady.
a little bit of a dick.
It depends on what I'm going to and how much time I have to get.
Just got oxygen.
Oh, well, then she's built for the trip, isn't she? Hell, she can go up a mountain. She'd be fine. No, like if I got to get to something for my kid and I'm on a time crunch, you're on your own, Babs. I'm sorry. Is that bad?
Sucks for you, old lady.
What? Like, do you think that old lady would be considerate of me? If I went to her and was
Yeah,
like,
but she doesn't have to. She's an
No.
old lady. Old
Yeah.
ladies can do whatever they want.
No, but here's the thing about old ladies, man. You got all the time in the world to get wherever the hell
Not
you're
really,
going.
man. She's got a shot clock over her head.
Okay, well,
This could be her last time at the rink seeing her grandkids.
well, then you ain't got to worry about getting there, then, do you? No, but like if I love this, like, oh, what about a little old lady? If I went to that lady and I go, listen, my daughter's hockey game starts in 15 minutes and we got to get inside. You think she'd be like, oh, yes, please. Shut up. No, you don't care.
They are vicious.
That's what I mean.
But the optics would look bad. Like if somebody saw you stiffing an old lady on a spot with a walker, you're going to look like a monster. You'll be an on-time monster, but a monster nonetheless.
And if you're both going to the same place,
Oh, that's another problem.
depending on what you're doing, you could be face to face with that
You could be
person.
sitting next to her.
Yeah, okay, well, get there sooner next time. And by the way, I'll have a good 10 minutes of alone time before
All
she
right.
gets there because she's got to find another spot.
And get to it.
252 WCMF at the hockey rink last night. Place was packed. I had to go out to my car to get my wife's coat. I get there. There's a guy following me. He thought I was leaving. I get the coat. He rolls down his window. He goes, what are you doing? I'm getting a coat. He drives away. He was trying to poach my spot.
Yeah.
The slow follower. 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Mike. Hey, Mikey. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, morning.
Yo.
So up here in Greece, there's this gas station that gives free air. It's a chain. You know, they got free air at all their gas stations in the county.
Okay.
So I roll up after work. My tire's going flat. I'm just trying to make it home. So there's a minivan at the air pump. Then there's a Volkswagen ahead of me and me. So
Big run on free air.
Free's free, buddy.
This broad, okay, I'll speed up. This broad pulls in next to the minivan, and the minivan goes to back out. She starts to move over, and the guy in the minivan's like, no, you can't. Those people are waiting. So the guy in the Volkswagen pulls in. He gets his there, and he's done. So he just pulls out. He don't give a F about nobody behind him. So I go to pull in. All of a sudden, she just worms her way over, and I yelled up the window, hey, you got to wait in line. What the hell's the matter with you? So she yells at me. She says, your mom. F your mom.
Wow.
So here's the part where I won, right? So my mom passed away 2 weeks ago. Her ashes are still in my back seat. So I open the door. I stand up out of the car with her ashes in the bag. I said, here's my mom. Come F my mom. Please, come F my mom. And after that, she kind of shut up a little bit, but I didn't. I just kept hammering on her. You know, what's the matter with you? You freaking idiot! You come to my town. You don't wait for people their turn.
Town's full. Okay.
Try that at
Mike-
my air pump.
Mike did hit her with a, What's the matter with you?
Well, you're in
Yeah,
Greece.
exactly.
You're in Greece. Now, Mikey,
It
listen,
was-
sorry about your mother, by the way. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But here's the
Appreciate
thing. If you say F my mom, you hold it up. What if she actually came over and F'd your mom?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I would have dumped him. I would have dumped him on her head.
But see, now you're the dick for disgracing your mother's remains over
Yeah.
this
My
woman
mom would
over
have been
here.
proud. My mom would have been proud.
Mikey, great first call of the day. Thank you, buddy.
Rock on.
Rock on. There goes. Well, I don't know.
Nothing but class on the west side.
Like, how often do you actually get to throw your mom's ashes in somebody's face in that specific
Immediately.
moment?
I think
Yeah.
that's the only, both literally and figuratively, he was ready to go. All right, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I'm in line and I watch that happen, and
I'm
she
laughing
goes,
my ass off.
bro, F your mom, and he holds up his mom's ass. How are you not crying
Yes.
with laughter?
Like the timing is
don't
impeccable.
252 WCMF, 252-9263. Let's talk to Barber. Hey, Barber, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, something like this happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was a passenger, and we pulled in the parking lot. And I ran into the store to get something, and when I was walking back out, something like the same thing. Somebody was following me, and I kind of realized it, but then I realized I was in the wrong lane. I was
Oh!
actually parked over one more, so I cut up between two cars, and the guy stopped, thinking I was probably going into that car, and then he didn't see that I did not get into the car, that I actually had to go over one more row. And then I got in my front, got in the thing, and as we're pulling away, I'm looking, and the guy was still standing there, parked there, waiting for that car to pull out when we're like, there's nobody in the car. I wonder how long it took him to
He's probably
realize.
still there.
Just a skeleton at
Yes.
this point. Barber, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. We got Facebook messages coming in again. We're talking about the slow follower wants your parking spot, baby. They've decided they own it. It's theirs, even though nobody owns that parking spot. This comes in from Stacy. Stacy says, a couple months ago, my husband was finishing up at Wegmans. I walked out to sit in the car while he paid. About 5 minutes later, a woman knocks on my window asking when I was leaving. Her car is running. The door is open. She was waiting for me to pull out of the spot the whole time.
Damn. Just hanging out?
Damn.
How long were you going to wait?
Yeah.
Wait to get a spot.
And was it that busy at the grocery store?
It would have to be like
store did-
Christmas.
But even at Christmas, they have like unlimited. Have you never not gotten a spot at a Wegmans or a Tops?
No. I
Even
mean,
that one in Pittsburgh that has like the weirdest island parking ever.
you got to settle sometimes for, crap spot. But yeah,
The
you get
one,
in.
there have been a couple times if you catch the East Ave Wegmans at a busy hour,
Well, that thing's tight.
it's almost full.
Oh, it's not tight. Tight!
Yeah.
But have you ever not gotten a spot?
No.
Okay. That's what I'm
No, I
saying.
have not.
It is amazing, though, because this is a pretty easy town to navigate.
Everything has parking.
Right.
And everything has a ton of parking.
Like, you think about when you're on the road, you ever go to, like, one of those malls, like in Texas, where you can barely see the mall
Yes.
from your parking space? It's like acres and acres of parking you have to walk just to get to the damn mall.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up because, the mall out in Greece, right? And there's a story today we'll be talking about actually that happened at the mall out in Greece over the weekend. I mean, I know that malls have changed,
Yeah.
right? But like even when the mall was at its tippity top,
The peak.
yeah, in like the late 80s, early 90s, there was still so much extra parking at that mall. They could have a full carnival
Yes.
and everybody got a spot.
And
Remember-
an
Hold
RV
events
sale.
in the parking
Oh,
lot.
yeah,
yes.
all those car sales. Like, why do you need that much parking
Yeah.
in a mall? Like, you look at a place like Eastview,
Yeah, it's acres.
right? There is no reason you need that much parking.
Because it's never that full. Even
Ever.
at the heyday, it was never completely sold out.
It's ridiculous. Like, again, Henrietta's parking lot in the mall is so big. They were
Yeah.
able to build an extra outdoor store, an apartment complex for 50-plus people that are almost finished, and an entire effing medical facility, and there's still plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking.
I think JetBlue parked some of their planes there, too.
So the moral of the story, don't follow someone for a parking
Yeah.
spot, you creepos.
Just walk, relax, take your time.
And keep your loved ones' ashes in the car.
Yes.
Just in case.
No, I want to see that, so keep doing what Mike did if you're going to do that. I want to witness that. We have a dynamite. Everything's going to be okay. Kind of breaking for you this morning here on CMF. So bringing up an incident at the mall over the weekend.
What happened?
Well, somebody is going to have a rough couple of weeks.
Oh.
Well, like not having a car is tough.
Oh, yeah.
And that seems to be the case here. The way that this car became unusable is pretty extreme. And it seems like it was a complete accident. It was
Okay.
nobody's fault. However, based on where these people were, there's a chance that they were on one very specific kind of evening. And when dates go south,
Oh, a date night.
it can be bad.
Yeah.
When dates go this south, you've got a question to ask yourself. And we'll get into it just after 7 o'clock here in the break room on CMF, plus a whole bunch more. But first, Tommy.
Yeah.
You know, we passed the first weekend since August without real football. Did you guys watch any of the Pro Bowl flag football game?
So
No.
I caught a little bit of it. I just can't believe people could sit and watch that for hours at a stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're there seeing it. They're probably signing autographs.
Yeah, it's
and
more
taking
like probably the
pictures.
player interaction,
But it
kind of
was
like training
full.
camp.
Yeah.
I mean,
stuff.
it looked like they had a lot of people
Yeah.
watching it. I'm going,
It's Orlando. I mean,
I know.
you
I
the kind
know.
of people that live in Orlando.
Yeah.
Speaking of parking everywhere. But the Super Bowl is on Sunday, and Bills fans still not over the fact that we will not be there.
Yeah.
We feel like we deserve to be there. But maybe, in a weird way, it's good the Bills didn't make the Super Bowl.
oh, what's that?
Well, we know that Bills fans like to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But we also know that Bills fans don't have the money other fan bases have.
Well, there's some rich towns out there.
I don't know what Bills fan would be able to afford what Super Bowl tickets are going for this year, because they're always insane.
But time and place,
Oh
is
my.
that what's drawing
Oh.
more attention?
We'll get into it next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. pretty significant segment of Bills Mafia feels like we should be headed to Las Vegas this weekend.
Oh, sure.
To watch the Bills play in their first Super Bowl in over 30 years. And look, I'm with you guys. It still hurts. It still hurts. But every once in a while, the universe does something for a reason.
So what happened?
Well, let's just say that if you're an average person in Western New York,
Regular Joe.
yeah, there is no effing way you'd be able to be in Vegas this weekend.
Why's that?
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5, WCMF, just after 6:45. Speaking of the Bills, there was a Bills legend making an appearance at a grand opening of a store in Henrietta this weekend.
Oh, an old-timey legend?
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. Normally, when guys, come back and make these appearances, sign autographs, take pictures, there's no big deal. But this one caused a massive amount of controversy for some folks that saw he was there and did not like it.
Wait a minute.
It's a type of business, bro.
Oh.
We'll tell you what it is and who it was just after 6:45 here in the break room on CMF. Tickets for the Super Bowl this weekend are the most expensive they've ever been in the history of the game.
Because I wonder why, because it's nothing unique about this particular game, right? I mean, these are two teams that have kind of been around.
Yeah.
Is it like I could see like if Detroit won, people in Detroit would spend anything to get to it.
Well, I mean, Tommy, to your point, it's a rematch of the Super Bowl from a couple right before COVID,
All right.
right? But, so prices this year are 75% higher than last year's game.
Wait.
Last year it was in Arizona, right?
That I don't remember.
I think.
So you bring up the reasons. Reason one, Kimmy hit on it coming in. It's in Vegas for the first time. The anticipation of a major event. Easy access for everyone in America because it's pretty easy to find a direct flight to Vegas.
Yeah,
That's true.
I know they have them from Buffalo.
And the fact that you don't have to be a football fan to enjoy all the festivities that'll be happening in Vegas all
Party
week long.
Town Central.
Exactly.
It's an
Like
excuse to make a vacation out of it.
bingo. There's going to be lots of rich
They
people
got bingo?
who wouldn't normally travel to Kimmy, Arizona, or Jacksonville, or wherever to go watch a Super Bowl. The second reason they give, San Francisco is relatively close to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So they believe that's bringing those fans easier. And the third reason they give is simple. They think they can get it.
Okay.
They're pushing the limits of how much people are willing to spend to get in on this game.
So, how much is a ticket?
Okay, so last week, getting in the door to the Super Bowl, the worst seat in the house was $10,000.
Wait, that's all the way up top.
Worst
Who would
seat.
want to spend that kind of money to watch that game?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because nobody. The tickets have dropped this week to around $6,000, which would still make them the most
blowout.
expensive secondary market ticket ever. But we'll see as the week goes on if those tickets end up continuing to drop or they go back up again. But it is so expensive, Tommy.
How much?
A suite at the Super
I
Bowl
can't
Bend
even think
over.
about it.
for 20 people
Yeah.
cost $2.5 million.
To watch a game.
Yep. In that suite. Now, we know this because of a story over the weekend.
What?
The family of San Francisco 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey, who, by the way, his dad also had a long career in the NFL, right? Said they could not afford a suite at the Super Bowl.
Well, no kidding, man.
Which is funny until you think about it. Now, Christian McCaffrey makes a fortune compared to the rest of us. But if you start to break down the money he makes, so he's making about $10 million this year.
Right.
Cut that in half for taxes, agents, etc. So that's $5 million.
Yeah.
Even one of the best players in the NFL, he's an MVP finalist, would be giving up half of his annual take-home pay for a suite for one game this season.
One lousy game. And some chicken wings
Yes, one
that
of the
they throw at you.
best players in the NFL.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Let's say the Bills would have managed to make it to Vegas, right? You beat Kansas City, you go to Baltimore, you get the win, and they're playing in that Super Bowl. It would have been cruel and inhumane for us to get there as Bills fans only to find the majority of Western New Yorkers would have had no way to afford a ticket.
But it seems like they always find a way, don't they? Like they go to these expensive towns to see these games, and it seems like there is no price that the Bills fan won't pay to see this team.
Okay, so you say that, and you're right. There are people that would say it doesn't matter. I'm going to put it on. But think about this: who's got $10,000 on plastic? Think about how much. That's just the
But
ticket.
That's
I
per.
am wondering,
Person.
Yes.
especially with Bills fans and just how long it's been since the team last went to a Super Bowl. Like, have there been people like kind of budgeting for this for the last like decade or two?
Yeah, you got your shoebox.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I do wonder, like, if people have saved up for that moment just in case it happens. Like, maybe you don't have the full amount, but you have enough stashed away or in mind that you can get to for this kind of situation.
All right, let's do a fun experiment here.
All right.
Okay, Kimmy, can you Google what a hotel room from Thursday to Monday? Give me a standard Vegas hotel.
Oh, like the what's it, Mirage?
Okay, yeah. Go to the Mirage. Find me a hotel room from Thursday to Monday per night.
Yeah, it's got to be cheap. They don't have the Tiger Show anymore.
The Tiger Show. What are you, a 3-year-old? The Tiger Show is on.
Siegfried and the other guy.
So even if you go by yourself, a flight to Vegas, let's say, costs you $300 each way. Fair?
Yeah, 600.
So between $600 and $800 for the flight, right? So $10,000 for the seat. So now you're at around $11,000. You got to eat. You got to entertain yourself. You're gonna gamble a little bit. So
and maybe a hooker.
So let's add an extra grand on top of that. So now you're at $12,000 for the flight, for food and entertainment, and for the single game. That's not including cab to and from. That's not including all that other stuff. And as we get to what the hotel will cost, it's got to be a $15,000
Yes,
per
per
person weekend.
Here's what you're not thinking about.
What's that?
If you're a homeowner, your house has gone up quite a bit recently, right? All of a sudden, your house is worth. Some people have got an extra 100 G in their house now in equity, right?
Okay. You going to sell your house to go to the
Nope.
Super Bowl?
Nope.
What?
Home equity line of credit.
Don't you have to tell them what it's for?
No.
You don't?
Just a home equity line of credit is just a line of credit. You could write checks off of it.
Really?
I know this because that's how I kept my house after a divorce. So I had a home equity line of credit on the house, and if I got behind, I could just start writing a second mortgage off on these. So I was paying bills, having fun.
Not putting any furniture in your empty rooms?
Yes, but you could do that.
Okay.
I mean, that's how people got in trouble in 2008 when they got upside down on their houses and realized the market tanked.
You know that I'm a diehard Bills fan, and I would do almost anything to get to a game like this. There's no way I'm taking out a second mortgage for a game.
I understand that, but some people might. I mean, this might be, like to Kimmy's point, your dream vacation. Some people go to Hawaii. Some people go to Miami. Some people go to the Super Bowl.
30
That's your dream, once-in-a-lifetime bucket. If it's a bucket list event for your team, and that team may never get back there in your lifetime, I think you do it.
Think about this, though. And again, 252 WCMF, we're talking about how Super Bowl tickets are the most expensive they've ever been in the game's history. Last week, the get-in-the-door price, worst seat in the house, was $10,000. They've come down to $6,000. A suite, $2.5 million for a 20-person suite for the Super Bowl this weekend. Tommy, $30,000. Let's put it at $30,000 for two people for the week or a couple of days. I can't think of a vacation that is so extravagant.
Yeah.
It would cost I can't think of a vacation that's so extravagant it would cost $15,000.
I understand.
Like you could go to Europe multiple times for a week
You could buy a piece of Europe.
on $15,000. Kimmy, do we have a price on hotel rooms?
Yeah, so honestly, you could find so the Mirage specifically is about $370 a night, but there are other hotels
By the
for
ice
like
machine.
$200 to $300 range.
Okay,
this
not
one's
bad.
like $250 a night.
All right, so let's say you get 3 bills. Let's average it out.
Right.
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So it's going to cost you
$1,200.
around, $1,200 plus taxes
$1,200,
and everything
yeah.
else.
So
It's what you're not thinking, though.
What?
I'm in Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Maybe I hit the tables and
Put all your
I
money
get it
on
all
red.
back. I go on a fat run on a dice game. I'm rolling 40 large dollars. I got $40.
Here's what I don't
Yeah, it's
understand.
insane.
No, but going back to the point you made a second ago, right? Like this isn't a unique Super Bowl. In fact, I
No.
think you can make the argument it's the least exciting Super Bowl we've seen in a couple
Both
of
these
years.
teams have been multiple times.
So how the hell are people spending? Why?
It's got to be the lure of Las Vegas, the new stadium, the excitement, maybe. I don't know.
No, I'm with you, but like if I'm a Chiefs fan, you've seen them in the Super Bowl, what, 4 or 3 out of the last 5 years, whatever.
Yeah.
San Francisco was there 4 years ago. I don't.
But Vegas is becoming this sports town where it looks like it just has unlimited what they could charge.
Yeah.
Because I think they ran Formula One through downtown, and the bleacher seats were going for $12,000 to $15,000 to sit in front of the Bellagio. You know that big fancy fountain one?
Yeah.
$15,000 to sit at night and watch a car race. And that's a bleacher seat. That's not even like you're not even getting a chicken wing, man. But, these people came from all over the globe to watch these cars go around.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of money, too, man. We're talking like super high.
International.
And it's international.
Yeah.
So, you always there's always that. I always figure there's just one Tokyo businessman that screws it up for everybody. That he just, he owns B.B. King's casket and guitar. He's got everything. He just buys everything. He loves Elvis. He's probably got him mummified in his basement.
252 WCMF.
Oh, there's the king.
The mummy could talk.
Yes, it's a talking mummy.
Let's talk to Mark. Hey, Mark, what's going on, brother?
Hey, good morning, guys. I have into this. I have thought about this as a Bills season ticket holder since '88, and the prices have gone astronomical, as you know, for the Super Bowl. So here's what you do.
What do you do?
When the Bills make the Super Bowl, I fly out. Let's say they made it this year. I fly out to Vegas today on Monday, and I party all week, hit all the bars, hit all the events. I fly home Saturday night, and I watch the Super Bowl with Bills fans in Buffalo on Sunday.
All right, so you get all the partying out of the way, then you go home and watch it from the best seat in the house.
You do all the pre-Super Bowl stuff.
That's a good idea, Mark.
Yes, thank you.
I mean,
He's been planning for this.
I mean, the only thing that would suck, Mark, is like, as much as I like that
It would
idea,
be hard not to stay that last day.
Because, Mark, there's going to be somebody that's like, hey, man, $4,000. Somebody bail. Like, there's going to be that temptation to spend, like, big-time money on one seat for you to stay, Mark.
Well, then you got to do it, right?
Well,
then
but now you're $4,000 further in, Mark.
Well, maybe you hit in Vegas.
So look at your time.
I hear the luck in your voice, baby.
Mark, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, so
I do think, to his point, there will be people that just travel there, not even to go to the game, but just to be around all the excitement.
Yeah, you could sit in a sports bar in Vegas, taking in the action, or maybe the booby shack. They got great chicken wings.
My dad did this.
Yeah.
So my dad.
Your dad did this when the Bills weren't even in the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Well, so my dad's been to 3 Super Bowls.
That's insane.
My dad went to the Bills-Cowboys first one in Pasadena. He got tickets for face value, and at the time they were like $400. So he went to the first Patriots Super Bowl win in New Orleans. I don't know how he got tickets to that one.
He's a walking bucket list.
So the third Super Bowl he went to, God, what an ass. It was the Bears Colts. I think it was in Miami.
So he saw Peyton Manning.
Yeah. That was the one where they beat Rex Grossman and the Bears.
Right.
He did exactly what Mark described. He went down, but his goal was to find a ticket while he was down there, and he did.
Wow.
So he went down.
Yeah, I guess if you fish around, you'll hit, right?
Yeah.
Like, what person goes to 3 Super Bowls that doesn't have an F? I don't think Catalana's been to 3
No
Super Bowls.
investment in the team.
He's the only person I've ever met that's been to 3 Super Bowls in Napoleon's house. I mean, come on, man. That's some history walking.
I will say this, to Mark's point, I was in New York City when the Super Bowl was happening the day before.
I remember you went to
LeBron versus Melo, and we went to a Knicks Heat game. But that NFL experience, everything around it, is worth going for.
Do you think? Yeah.
Like, no, it was great. Like, you have just
they make it a party, right?
It's got to be a carnival, right?
Yeah.
Well, and like, we didn't even go out of our way to do stuff. Like, we were just walking down the street, and there's NFL legends all over the place. There's all these celebrities. They have the NFL experience. They had it, like, right in, like, the Times Square area. That was super cool. Like, there's all these parties that you can manage to get into if you know the right people.
Right.
And when I say know the right people, like, ask a guy, and he's like, $100, and here you go. There is one thing not so great for one specific player this weekend, because you think Patrick Mahomes is on cloud 9, won 2 road games to get to this point.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, should I say, Pat Mahomes, got in some trouble this weekend.
Yeah, it's a rough patch.
Pat Mahomes Sr., his daddy,
Yeah.
was arrested for DWI in Texas. You want to talk about great timing?
Yeah.
What makes it even worse,
What's that?
this is his 3rd DWI.
Yes.
He's already done jail time for the 2nd
And this one could be even worse.
Yeah,
right?
there could be significant lockup. Does he show up at the Super Bowl this weekend?
I figured his kids got the money to get him out of this.
Oh, no.
It's more just the look of it all. But
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, if you're arrested for your 3rd DWI the week before your kid plays in arguably the biggest game of his career, based on what's been going on this season, and, like, the camera cuts to him, like, eating a $75 chicken wing at a $2.5 million suite.
Yeah.
It's not a great
So
look.
you don't think he shows?
If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm telling him, you ain't coming.
He doesn't seem to say that to his family.
Yeah, good point.
Despite all the other stuff
also-
going
He does
on.
remind me of, second time I'm going to say this, he kind of reminds me of Elvis a little bit.
Did you watch an Elvis
Wait,
thing?
Patrick
No,
Mahomes
but like
does?
Patrick Mahomes, but the family drama all around him. Because like
Okay.
Elvis had like his high-end Hollywood friends, but then he had his Memphis crew. You know what I mean? And the Memphis crew was always out of control. Like those are the ones that pitched tents in the front yard at his house
Sure, but
and
I
were
mean,
cooking like strange meat on a hibachi.
Elvis was all hopped up on everything all the time. Like I understand why that guy made that decision. Patrick Mahomes is not.
He's getting his body slammed into the turf. You don't know what his brain's doing.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. And he's got wicked dad bod,
He's Kansas City Elvis.
which I think is Elvis.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, as we talk about Bills and legend, like, this guy was on the team the last time the Bills were in the
So
Super
you said
Bowl.
there was a legend in town.
Yes, he was here in Rochester, and he was making an appearance at a grand opening at a business. And this happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's hard to be upset. Why anyone would be upset that someone is there signing autographs and taking pictures?
So has he got a bad past?
No. It's actually the future of this business that is.
They didn't like the
upset.
business he was in.
You got it. And the fact that this person, who was a lot of folks' childhood heroes, seems to be endorsing this.
All right.
We'll tell you who it was and why they're so angry. Next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Big grand opening over the weekend in
Oh,
Henrietta.
what's going on?
Well, normally when you see celebrities signing autographs, taking pictures when a place opens up, people get excited, not upset.
Yeah.
But this one's different.
What happened?
Well, apparently there are folks that have a problem with this sports legend endorsing this type of business. You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5. WCMF, just after 7 o'clock. Incident in a parking lot in the parking lot of the mall at Greece out there. And it was complete accident. Nobody's at fault, it seems. But based on where this car was, we may be able to deduce what they were doing.
Okay.
And no one ever thinks a date is going to go poorly.
No.
But when it does, and I'm talking like outside influence really bad,
Ouch.
you've got a choice to make. And we'll get into it just after 7 o'clock here in the break room on CMF. Over the weekend, Tommy, Rise Dispensary in Henrietta had its grand opening.
Oh.
It's in the old IHOP on Jefferson Road.
Oh, wow.
They say it still smells like pancakes inside. And to mark the grand occasion, they had like a big celebration event.
Yeah, like a ribbon cutting type of thing.
Yeah, they had live music. They had food trucks.
Well, you need them food trucks.
On Saturday, they had an appearance by Buffalo Bills legend and Pro Football Hall of Famer Andre Reed.
That's the perfect guy for this.
Why?
Wise ass Andre showing up at the Green Shack.
If I could have said any Bills player from the 90s, and you would have said the same
But
thing.
Andre is top of the list.
So Andre Reed was
Always has an issue with crab.
Andre Reed was at Rise Dispensary on Saturday, meeting fans, taking pictures, signing autographs. So you're not surprised by
No,
this?
not at all. He would be my number one choice. If I was opening a place, he's my guy.
Kimmy, are you surprised that a Pro Football Hall of Famer was out signing autographs at the grand opening of a marijuana dispensary?
No, just because I think that there are a lot of former athletes that are into this and like opening their own places, investing. I don't think it's that uncommon, to get a former professional athlete to sign off on this stuff.
So to her point, there are actually a ton of former athletes that are making money in this business. We all remember Ricky Williams, running back. He's doing it, but we kind of saw that coming.
Well, he kind of burnt through his career with it.
Literally and figuratively.
Batavia Mud Dog. I have the right guy, right?
Yes, but like that was the most old man thing. Batavia Muck Dog!
It's pretty cool. He was up here.
You remember former Lions wide receiver Calvin Johnson, Megatron, 81, big tall guy?
Yeah.
He launched his own cannabis brand. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Says he smoked after every home game his entire NFL career. UFC fighters Nate and Nick Diaz, they're active.
Okay, UFC, I give a pass.
But they
can do anything they want.
Old man waves. You go Batavia Muck Dog to old man wave.
You're caged up in a room beating the hell out of each other in your underwear. Burn while you want.
These guys are active fighters, and they own their own cannabis brand. Right?
So they got to do it for pain relief.
No,
I mean
yes.
But I'm thinking that's the hook.
I completely understand it. I get it. Like I'm not going to judge you for it. In fact, I kind of feel bad that Ricky Williams lost his entire career. Same with Josh Gordon, wide receiver for the Browns, over something so little. That being said, there were a lot of folks this weekend that had a major problem with Andre Reed at the grand opening of a dispensary.
Well, what does that say about what about the children that look up to Andre?
Comments range from disappointed to outright rage. Can I share some with you? Quote, does this mean that Andre Reed smokes pot? Has he always smoked pot? Guess we know why the Bills could never win any of those Super Bowls.
Sure.
Quote, this man is a role model for kids, you hit that, and adults alike, and the fact that he's putting his name and face on this is despicable. What's next? Thurman Thomas trying to sell my kid heroin? Quote, do the Bills know about this? Doesn't he do work for the Bills as one of the faces of the franchise? Do they want some weed head as one of their spokespeople? Did you write that last one? Weed head? And by the way, those are just a handful. There's lots more where that came from.
Yeah.
Why do so many people have an issue with this? 252-WCMF, 252-9263.
It's got to be the older set. It's got to be my generation, right?
But weren't you guys getting high the whole time?
Of course, but we did. Where you live in denial, right?
But when we did it, we hit it.
That's true. In a shoebox under the bed.
We had shame and we liked it that way.
Because eventually these companies are going to advertise inside the stadium.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
You're going to have signs promoting this stuff because you got everything else in there. You never thought you were going to see casinos promoting gambling on a game that you could bet on right now.
We just talked about the Super Bowl that is in Las Vegas this
and
weekend.
that was taboo years ago.
Yeah.
I can remember when we used to interview guys on the radio, and we would bring up gambling, and they didn't even want to talk about it or be associated with it because the NFL was going to come down on them.
So, like, what's strange to me about the anger with Andre Reed being at Rise Dispensary over the weekend, right? Like, look, it's totally legal in New York right now. What Andre Reed did this weekend would be the same thing as him going to a bar for a grand opening.
Which is, they endorse beer products.
Yeah. And, like, nobody would have had a problem with that. Hell, I mean, if you walk into Wegmans, you see Tre'Davious White and Dawson Knox's picture on the Labatt Blue display.
Yes.
Josh has his own seltzer that he endorses right through Labatt Blue. Like, I don't understand.
Because there's still, to some people, it's drugs.
I mean, it is drugs.
But it is.
But so is alcohol.
But I'm saying, like, they still think of it as a drug.
Okay.
It's illegal.
But a regulated one, I guess. I don't know. Take some of the shame out of it.
But but even when you talk about drugs, and our sports legends from back in the day. Again, 252 WCMF, Andre Reed, Bills Hall of Famer and Pro Football Hall of Famer, made an appearance at the Rise Dispensary in Henrietta for the grand opening over the weekend. Took pictures, signed autographs. See, like, you're trying to play cool, but even I can tell you're judging him inside your big old bald
Andre.
head.
Of course, he's first in line at the weed shop.
If it was Jim Kelly, would you be laughing the same?
I would be shocked.
Why?
Because, like, I always figured Jim would be too protective of his image to do it. Where Andre is one of the side players, so not as much.
How many Hall of Famers are there in the history of the league? He's one of them.
I understand that, but it's Jim, Thurman, and then the other guy.
Okay, it goes Jim/Bruce.
Yeah.
Thurman, Andre.
Oh, I always thought Thurman was up there.
Bruce Smith is arguably the greatest D end of all time.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a hamburger named after him.
Oh,
He doesn't have a
he's-
Terminator.
He's got the
burger.
Bruceinator down in
I'm thinking about that. Thurman had a bar inside a casino
Yep.
with his own burger.
Yeah, 34 Russia, Potato
Yeah.
Downs. Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
I mean, look, I don't make money, man. These guys didn't make the kind of money these guys
Oh,
do
no.
now. And
Yeah.
you see what Jim Kelly's going through. We talked to Thurman Thomas about the symptoms that he's had since he
these
finished
guys
playing.
struggle for the rest of their lives. They got major problems.
Make him, Andre Reed just had his Hall of Fame ring stolen in London.
Oh, that's
I
right.
forgot about that. Also, don't you think Andre Reed, bringing out Andre Reed isn't for kids? Like, it's not for younger people. It's to attract guys like your
Yeah.
age, Tommy. I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
those are the guys that, looked up to Andre Reed, know Andre Reed. I mean, your daughters have no idea who he is,
Yeah.
probably.
The last game Andre Reed played for the Bills was in 1999, and I was 13 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to
I mean, no
attract
kids
an
looking
older
up
set.
to this old man. He's an old man now.
yeah, exactly. Going back to the whole, like, it's drugs and that's why people are shocked by it. Like, even back in the day, our sports heroes got busted all the time
Oh, yeah.
for hardcore drugs. Like, there were cocaine scandals in all four of the major sports in the late 70s and 80s. Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Pirate.
New York Met.
When he got in trouble with all the cocaine.
He was you're thinking about Dave Parker. He was a Met when the cocaine thing went down.
Oh, I thought it was.
There was a bunch of teams
Oh.
involved. But, like, Keith Hernandez is right now a beloved broadcaster and pitchman.
Go play for Mr. Gray.
He got busted, and he came out and talked about it.
Yeah.
Pirate Dave Parker was the one you were probably thinking about with the Pirates. He was
Okay.
one. I mean, Lawrence Taylor, for God's sake.
LT. He got in all kinds of fun.
Bro, and the things that he's talked about, like he would send prostitutes to opposing players' hotel rooms the night before, and people still revere that man. Did you know the reason Dan Marino was taken so late in the 1983 draft, he was a late first-round pick, was because of a cocaine scandal at the University of Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
and teams were afraid he was a part of that.
Yeah. But thank God he ended up in a town like Miami. You don't have that temptation in the 80s. The one I always loved that he parlayed it was Billy Martin.
Yeah.
Billy Martin was an alcoholic bar brawler.
By the way, till the day he died,
Died, yeah.
literally.
And they made jokes about it in those Miller Lite ads.
He was thrown off the Yankees during his playing career because of a fight that, Mickey Mantle was
Yeah.
with him, and they couldn't get rid of Mick, so they got rid of Billy Martin.
Right.
I know we're going deep
But,
sports stuff
I
here.
mean, this has a long history of, like, trouble in sports.
Exactly. So, like, all of a sudden, for people to be, like, pearl clutching that Andre Reed is outside a legal marijuana dispensary in Rochester, New York, it's the weirdest
In front of the
thing.
children. Did he have on his Hall of Fame jacket?
That would have been awesome. No, I think they got stolen in London, too. By the way, you're making me defend Andre Reed. You know my history with Andre Reed.
Andre Reed looks like the guy that would wear that jacket out to dinner.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Like, just so people know who he is.
Here's the thing.
But
If I was elected to any Hall of Fame where they gave me a jacket, I would wear that jacket out to dinner too. I can't fault a man for doing that. You wouldn't?
you would wear something with your name on it.
Yeah.
You look like such an ass.
If it's a legit Hall of Fame, let's say there was a National Radio Hall of Fame, and by some fluke
and they
of
give
luck,
you a bright gold jacket with the emblem on the pocket.
every single day I leave the house, my jacket will be on
You
me.
would.
Yeah, but what if
100%.
what if you knew other guys that had it
Yeah.
and they never wear it out?
Well, you're not
You
getting use out
wouldn't
of that
care?
jacket.
All right.
Like I would wear the ring and the jacket at the same time.
Okay.
And then I would put a sign on the back of my coat that says, "Ask me about my jacket." 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Ben. Hey, Ben, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. What's going on?
Good to hear from you.
How's Perky Nerpies doing over there?
Perky Nerpies. Way to go.
Anyways, I'm thinking why people are all up in arms about this, and it's got to be the older set, like Tommy's age, that they're afraid that he's going to influence kids and they're going to become the next Cheech and Chong.
But I love how you make an old man joke and then drop Cheech and
Cheech
Chong in
and
there at the
Chong.
back end. Well, you know, Ben, have you started smoking like since everything's become legal in New York? Are you one of those guys?
I mean, I have a little bit. I don't smoke all the time.
Well, you know why he doesn't smoke all the time?
Why is that?
Well, because look, man, like I think people forget when they give up smoking marijuana how hot that smoke is.
You have to
coming
be
out of
very
the pipe.
careful if you're using the bong.
Yeah, right, like remember that there was that one time we got audio of it. Ben was hitting that bong,
Yeah.
right, and he was holding that lighter over for way too long.
Oh, he's
yeah,
like,
that smoke hit his mouth.
oh my God, this is too spicy.
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 Hurts my tongue.
You got that Mexican pot that they're selling at Rice's.
I think I
Pizza.
call that pot.
What, does it have red pepper in it or something?
Ben, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day.
You were doing well with the sound effects.
Yeah, that was good. You even
Yeah.
did the bong with the water and everything.
Every comic could do a bong hit on stage.
Let's take a break. There was a major issue in the parking lot of the mall out in Greece on Friday. And it seems like it was a total accident, like one of these things that just happens,
Yeah,
right? However, based on where this car was located in the parking lot, we can try and deduce a couple of things. It's very possible that the person who owned this car was on a date.
Oh, that's the worst, man.
Look,
Car problems on a date.
Oh, when you say problems, put problems capitalized, underlined with 3 exclamation
God,
points.
that's painful.
And look, you never anticipate a date going poorly when you start that date. But when something this insane
Really?
happens, you got a choice to make.
Okay.
And we'll get into it next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Someone on the West Side had the crappiest of weekends this weekend. But based on where this happened, it could be even worse than we think.
This is a West Side date night.
Well, we don't know it's a date night, but here's the thing.
All right.
Every date you've ever gone on, you picture going smooth. But there are disasters that can happen that are just out of your control.
Yeah, what do you do?
And it's possible this was one of them.
What happened?
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5, WCMF, just after 7:25, 7:30. There's a woman that's been arrested for a charge involving her kid. And what's weird about this, we've talked about this on the show before, there's no rock-solid law that got this woman arrested. There's no set age. There's no set time. I guess people just use their judgment.
Okay. I mean, like the law.
Yeah. Her name's in the paper. Her face is all over.
Ooh.
For something that a lot of parents might be okay with.
Okay.
And we'll get into it just after 7:25, 7:30 here in the break room on CMF. This story, Tommy, comes to us from Greece. More specifically,
Grease date night.
the parking lot of the mall.
All right.
Authorities were called there for a car fire.
God damn.
Now, the good news,
What's that?
no one was hurt. Everyone is safe. The bad news, if you saw a picture of what happened, this thing was...
No car left?
Kimmy, it was torched.
Well, an IROC Z will burn right to the chassis.
Police are currently investigating the cause of the fire. And your car catching on fire, Tommy, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks hard, sucks long.
And that's kind of what you were hoping for in this date night.
Think all the headaches, Kimmy, this person has to deal with now
I
with
can't
a
imagine.
Everything.
char car.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, think about the stuff that may have been in the car that you need on a daily basis that could have gone up in flames, and you're without a car.
Yeah.
But what can make this situation worse, according to the story on 13 Wham, it happened Friday night in the parking lot in front of King Crab Juicy Seafood.
Oh, seafood date night.
That's right, buddy. This could have been a date.
Oh, I think it is a date.
Someone could have been on a date.
Oh, yeah. Seafood
looked out-
Friday night is date night.
So you
'Cause
look
you're
out-
going top shelf.
You look out the window and your car is ablaze on
Yeah.
a date with someone.
You're losing all your scratchers and your Stanley mug.
No, the Stanley mug will be okay.
Yeah,
there
that
have been
might
car
be
fires
actually
where they
survived,
survive.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Worth
Okay.
the $60.
All right.
Tommy, let's say you're out with a woman. Things are going really well.
Yeah.
Second, third date.
Oh.
You look outside and your car is engulfed in flames. What do you do?
You're gonna jump out of your skin.
Okay.
Like the shock of seeing your car on fire. I would almost think like this isn't really happening. This is a dream.
Understood.
That I'm spitting out my coconut shrimp, which I never do.
Here's the important question. Is the date over?
Oh yeah.
Really? You're ending it right
Oh
there?
my God. What do we do? I mean,
How do you get home?
I guess the cops, the fire department.
Sure.
Who do I call?
Okay.
Insurance. How do we get home?
Okay.
She's probably not in the mood now.
Okay.
If it's, yeah.
So you're pulling the ripcord right there. It's
Oh.
over. The car's on fire. The date's done.
Yeah, I can't imagine you think we're going to go back to my apartment and I'm going to get me some.
And I probably wouldn't want to hang around only because I'm like, well, I know you're stressed now, so I'm just going to go home.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, based on how you also handle this situation,
Yeah, that's a good point.
she's going to be
Yeah.
watching that too.
All right. The phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. So both of you are bailing on this date when your car bursts into
yeah.
flames
Yeah.
outside. Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
The stress of the
It's a
situation.
tragedy.
It's not a tragedy. Nobody died. It was a car. It sucks.
all
It's
right,
not
it's
a tragedy.
It's a material tragedy. Can we live with
Worst
that?
Madonna song ever.
We're living in a material tragedy world.
Good luck doing that one. No, just move on.
Living in a material burnt IROC world.
Look, man,
I'm figuring like she may be traumatized. If it's my set of wheels, that's my only set of wheels. I'm just like watching my whole life burn up.
okay, so here's the thing. Look, I'm not arguing that it wouldn't be traumatic. You're right. It would be very traumatic. But
Do you
there's
think we're gonna lay down?
Look, there's nothing you can do to save your car in that moment. They're going to put it out, and they're going to get that thing out of there. And if it's 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, you got to wait till the next day to call the insurance company and all that jazz.
But is she gonna be in the mood for cooch?
All right, let me ask you the mood for cooch.
Yes.
Kimmy, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If that guy looks at you and he goes, panics for a second, freaks out, goes through all the range of emotions, and goes, "Look, at least I have you with me tonight. I want to. Let's finish this date." Would that be romantic?
Okay. To your point, like if I saw that like they were keeping their cool, during this whole thing and like they had a handle on the situation, maybe that would be a positive. Maybe that would be enough for me to say, yeah, like it's your call, it's your car. So if you're
So he's
cool
got a
with
boner. He's watching his car burn up,
Yeah.
and he's still thinking about his boner.
You have had sex
I don't know how many
through-
people would keep their cool like that though.
Or keep their
after somebody-
boner.
All right, I'm gonna.
Very hard to maintain a boner.
Well, maybe at your age, I'm gonna throw something out there, man.
Go ahead.
I think if you manage to recollect yourself
Okay.
and look at that date you're on and go, listen, I think you're here with me. I was having a good time up until this point. There's nothing I can do now. Let's finish this.
Okay, so you
You're
have to
lucky.
be that focused, though, because you're saying, it's just materialistic. It's, we're fine. It's what counts in life. Life is short.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hey, can you get the Uber home?
But you're going to have to really be composed after you're thousands of dollars in the hole, man, depending on your car, right?
You're
Yeah.
right, but there's another hole you could be in if you play it cool, and I'll go even further.
And that's smoldering.
Kimmy, true or false? One of the sexiest things a guy can be is cool under pressure.
All right.
Cool hand Luke, baby.
She doesn't know who that
I know, but it
yes,
still sounds cool.
But I guess it would also depend. Like, let's say this person picked, I don't know what date we're on. Maybe we're on second, third date. They pick me up, and like every time I've been in their car, it smells like something's wrong with it.
Okay, yeah,
That's
you can
every single guy on the west side.
But maybe
You drove a Geo Metro that you blew the back hatch out of looking at pornography
On the west side of Florida.
without insurance, and you're going to sit here and judge people in your 30s. In your 30s,
my fear would
It was
be
my hand's date night.
do your job.
my fear would be if you didn't have enough money to fix it, how you ever getting a new car, and will this change the dynamic of our dates
How
going
busted
forward?
you be?
Oh, so now you're being materialistic.
Well, like if you don't have a car,
Yeah, true.
I don't
want to
be the person that drives you around.
Let me ask you this,
Yeah.
Kimmy, and I see you guys sitting on
She
hold.
out.
252
it's,
WCMF.
yeah, if it's early on in our dating life, I'm probably out.
Let's say, again,
Yeah.
you're out with a guy, look out the window, his car is bursted to flames.
Yeah.
Okay? Are you paying for dinner? Are you offering to pay?
Probably, I'd feel pretty bad.
Probably! How do you not instantly pull out your card and go, hey, your car's on fire, this
Well,
one's
I
on
also
me?
don't want to embarrass. I don't know if he
Oh,
would be
yeah.
embarrassed by that. Like your car's on fire and my date's paying for the dinner.
All right, look, I never want a woman to pay for dinner.
Yeah.
If my car bursts into flames, I'll take that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're not taking that?
Yeah, I'm taking it.
252 WCMF 252-9263. Again, we're talking about this car fire happened in the parking lot of the mall out at Grease Ridge in the King Crab Juicy Seafood lot. Friday night. Sounds like a date night.
Oh, yeah.
Do you stay? And the fact of the matter is, before we go to the phones, despite no one ever thinking about it before you leave the house, disaster dates happen. And everyone has had one.
Yeah.
Right? Something out of your control goes down where
What do you do?
Yeah, either with the person you went out with or something of yours that had nothing to do with the date just goes haywire. What is the standard protocol when out of your control,
Yeah.
disaster date strikes? 252 WCMF. What do you have to do to try and work it through? Do you work it through at all? Let's talk to Skylar. Hey, Skylar, what's up, buddy?
Morning, folks. So I got a custom chopper, Harley chopper, and
Ooh, I got a chopper.
well, the driving out here where I live, they have a cruise night, and it gets packed. Well, this was super cruise night. So I got a girl on the back. This is like one of our first dates. And the line to get in there is like halfway down the highway. So we're waiting in line, and I got to inch forward every couple minutes. So you pop it into neutral and sit there, wait for the next car. I'm right at the entrance. 1,000 people there. I put it into gear, and it broke the belt off it. So we're stuck right at the entrance.
All your biker friends are looking at you and they're laughing, Skylar. Look at Skylar, broken belt. Look at him.
So my point is, though, I stuck it out, and you know what a pity lay is, don't you?
Would you get a pity lay on a flaming
You
car?
got to push your motorcycle into
Hell
the
yeah,
parking
she's
lot.
going to give it to you. You're feeling bad for you.
Well, she's
And
there to help you
especially
push into the parking lot, though, Tommy.
Yeah, but she's in 6-inch glass heels.
Hey, your eggs are done. Yep, there's my story. I felt about 2 inches tall, and it was horrible. But
Well, hey, man.
All right.
We've all been
it out
there.
and it worked.
Yeah, Skylar, thanks for the call, but I appreciate it. And that's the other thing, right? Like, you sit here imagining this unbelievable situation, which I guess a car on fire would be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we've all been in this spot before
sure.
where you have been pantsed in front of this woman that you are fancying, and you did nothing to contribute to what happened here. Kimmy, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Does a man look loyal or desperate if he wants to see the rest of the night through after something like this happens?
Does he look loyal or desperate?
Car
Like,
bursts into flames. Somebody does something. The night goes haywire. Is he a loyal man because he wants to spend the night with you, or is he a desperate man because he's holding on for dear life to the rest of this date?
I guess it would be loyal because if you're willing to look past all this stress and you're determined to keep this date going, I mean, I guess I would see it as loyal.
I think Skylar does bring up a good point about the sympathy lay.
Okay. I mean, you'll take it.
Who wouldn't?
Right. I understand that.
Like, what kind? No, not tonight. My car's on
But
fire.
I don't know what's going on in her head. You know what I mean? Does she feel sorry for me? Does she even want to do this? Or does she feel like she doesn't want to look like a dick leaving? So she's just going to go through the motions and I'm never going to hear from her again?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right?
That's a good
I mean,
question.
I'm looking at it from our perspective. What is she doing here?
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's the worst that happens? You're in the same spot if you leave with the car than you are if she, like, goes, man, walks away. Like, what do I got to lose? I got nothing to lose.
Okay.
Well, I've already lost my car.
Lost your car. You already ate the shrimp. Let's just finish her up.
Well,
let's just wrap this up.
Let's say you got half a bag of crab legs because at Juicy Crab they do the bag style. You know what
Oh,
I'm
they
talking
do?
about?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I've been before. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to leave my crab legs behind.
Oh, wait, you're taking a doggy bag home of seafood?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to sit and finish my seafood.
Okay, all right.
Well, you sound like you can make the car smell like seafood. It's burnt to the chassis.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying mid-dinner, car's on fire.
Yeah.
You go out and deal with the situation. You're going to go back in and finish your meal.
I'm paying for it.
And then
Yeah.
getting an Uber home and hopefully having sex on a third date. That's a lot going on there.
Kimmy, here's what you're hearing between two men having a conversation.
Yeah, sorry, I missed part of this. I was
No.
on the phone.
You
Okay.
didn't have to catch any of it.
Okay.
What you're hearing is one man who was a rich, spoiled, everything went well for him his entire life, never had chaos growing up. And another man who was the opposite of that. Bro, I've had 1,000 things worse than my car catching on fire on a date. Like, I could eat through that. I could bang through that. I could have a conversation
Yeah, but can
through that.
she do that?
I was
We'll
going to
find
say
out.
because I would be worried that now all eyes are on us because everybody in this place knows that I'm dealing with my car on fire.
I can handle that.
So, yeah, you might, but can she? I don't know. It might be kind of embarrassing.
Hey, baby, you want to be a celebrity? Players Club, baby. 252 WCMF 2529263. We're talking about this car bursting into flames in the parking lot Friday night at the mall at Grease Ridge. Looks like it was just an accident. Like it just happened.
Freak thing.
But it happened in the parking lot of the Juicy Crab Seafood. Sounds like a date. You riding that date out, and even further, when that outside disaster happens, what is the right move to make? Let's talk to Jules. Hey, Jules, what's up, buddy?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, I had a couple incidents. One time I'm going home, taking my girlfriend home. I had an 88 Beretta, and then my piston blew, so she helped me push it into the parking lot.
Oh, okay, Jules, how long you been with her for at that point?
Oh, it was like 2 weeks in.
Oh, man.
Did you see her again afterwards?
Absolutely, yeah. We were together for 2 years after that.
Oh, all right, that's a loyal
Worked
woman
out
right
for
there.
you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then one time it was Easter weekend. I'm at the movies. I'm on a date, and then one of my friends got shot. So I looked at her. We're in the middle of the movie theater. I said, "Yeah, we got to go. We got to make this. We got to replay this for another night." She's like, "It's okay. You know, this is more important right now. You know."
Yeah, that one I get. I don't know if I could eat through my buddy getting shot.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah, but it was a couple bad dates for me. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, well,
For you, your buddy, come on, he can push through it.
He's good. With the grace of God, he's good.
Ooh, thank goodness. Well, Jules, then you could have stayed. I would have been mad at my buddy. Let me know you're going to pull through.
All right, man.
Jules, thanks for the call, man. Have a good rest of the day. My buddy got shot.
Guess we got to go.
All right, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Smoking hot chick.
Oh, yeah.
Third date. She's into you for some reason. You don't know why. You're playing over your head. How close of a buddy would have to get shot where you're leaving that date?
Like you get a text from another buddy letting you know what happened.
I think I'm going to try to finish off this date, and I'll go see him in the hospital in the morning.
Okay, let me ask you. All right, no,
But you don't know how bad he is, right?
all right,
Don't know.
Let's do
Okay.
this. Let's do this.
All right.
All right. You get a text. I got shot.
You've been shot.
I've been shot. We've known each other 20-something years.
right.
You know, we are the lights in each other's lives, Tommy.
Yes.
You leaving the date?
Depends where you got shot. Comedy club stage, I get it.
Kimmy gets shot. You bail
Well,
on
Kimmy, you got to go.
What? Wait, you're going for Kimmy over me? You just met that
She's
kid.
girl shy.
What's girl
Girl
shy?
You know
shy.
what it is? He thinks that you may have done something to deserve it.
Of course.
And that's the difference.
If anybody,
If I hear anybody of mine got shot, it's because he shot his goddamn mouth off and probably deserved it. Or if you get shot, I'm going to feel terrible.
Thank
By
you.
the way,
Thank you.
If I
Appreciate
come
that.
home, if I go home and I go, hey, honey, you remember Bad Joke Vinny? Got capped today.
no,
She's going to be, yeah, I know.
When you say it like that, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Kimmy gets shot. You know, my wife's picking out a black dress.
You know what's funny? We got Facebook messages coming in. We'll get to that in just a second. We've been having this conversation the entire time in the context of like early on dates.
Yeah.
I mean, what if this was a married couple with a couple
Yeah.
of kids?
That's
Yeah,
a
it could've
whole
been.
different dynamic, man.
But
You're
here's-
finishing up.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like,
Order more bread. Get a couple of cocktails and wait for an Uber.
You might even try to get free stuff
Oh,
from
yeah.
the restaurant.
Yes.
preach, sister.
Completely different dynamic.
Facebook messages coming in. You can always get us at WCMF or the Break Room Facebook page. We finally get a female perspective outside of Kimmy, obviously. Sarah writes us. We were asking about disaster dates that are out of your control.
What happened?
Sarah writes, a man died of a heart attack on a date I was on. I had gone out
Not
with
the guy she
Wait,
was
the guy
dating?
she was
It
with?
doesn't sound like here.
Okay.
But in a maybe in the restaurant.
We could figure it out together.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll start over. A man died of a heart attack on a date I was on. I had gone out with the guy a few times. He just stood there and watched while he was lying on the floor. I wanted him to do something, but he froze. That was our last date. Wait a minute. What if he doesn't know what to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Unless
you know,
you
I
have
told
some
you
training.
this happened to me at a bar here in town at a hotel where I walked outside to smoke a cigar, and the guy walked outside and had a heart attack. And they were like, his buddy was on top of him, the ambulances came, all that stuff. Nobody left. Like, people watched this guy, they've loaded him onto the stretcher, took him away, and people were still having drinks and dinner. They were still playing live music, man. Like, the show went on.
That
so,
would be really. I think I'd
Yeah.
leave for that.
Yeah.
If I watched a guy die on
bro,
my
I stayed at a couple of drinks. I just finished my cigar.
Yeah, but
man.
you were smoking over him having a heart
Not
attack?
over him, like, it sucks for you, buddy, like a red Arbot. No, I sat over in a corner and smoked my cigar. There were people outside smoking.
Wait a minute. You didn't put the cigar out. You're watching a man get worked on having a heart attack.
It's a $10 Cohiba. I'm not dropping that thing. And I just ordered a nice drink. By
Okay.
the way, what am I going to do for the poor bastard?
Nothing, but
know,
you
but,
can be respectful. Like,
yeah.
he's having a heart attack. You're blowing smoke in his general direction.
Side, over in the side, outdoor area.
So we'll take our second gunshot story.
Okay.
Derek writes us, I lived in Texas for a while.
Well, that don't count. Everybody's been shot in Texas.
He goes on a date, a gun went off by accident and hit someone's arm. They were okay, but she didn't want to go anywhere else afterwards, and we only had one more date after that.
Calls herself a Texan.
Kimmy, could you continue dating a guy you experienced an accidental shooting with?
Unless like he reacted really strangely to it.
Like how? What's straight? Woohoo!
You missed.
Like I guess if he wasn't phased by it at all, that might be a red flag.
Really?
Like if he just was like just carried on without even acknowledging or like really thinking twice about it, like I would, like it's okay to show a little bit of concern here.
Okay. See, I would think the opposite. I would think that I have to be like strong and tough for this woman that's with me.
Well, I mean, things happen so fast.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, you don't have time to react. So, if you remember when I told you I was at that Italian restaurant in Florida?
Yeah.
That got robbed, like, in the dining room. Like, it just happened so fast. And the guy was gone, and then we left, and then we ended up going to another restaurant and eating.
Well, but
but
to
we
your
left
point-
that restaurant to go to another place and have drinks.
Could you have eaten at that place after? Like, did you lose your appetite
Yeah,
a
we
little
just
bit?
split because
Yeah.
it was just a weird vibe at
Yeah.
that point. But it wasn't.
Weird vibe. Armed robbery, weird vibe. 1 star, would not go back.
But it was, it was like one of those cheesy Italian restaurants. It was named like after The Godfather. It was like Corleone's or something. It's like,
Fits perfectly.
yeah, and it was just one of those kind of South Florida joints. So we just ended up going someplace else. But we just paid for our apps and left.
I do find it interesting, though, like, in the story that kicks off this whole discussion, the car bursting into flames in the parking lot of the king crab, juicy seafood, whatever, out at the mall in Greece.
Yeah.
You can't eat through that, date through that. But you were a part of an armed robbery.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you went somewhere else and
Yeah.
continued the date.
But no gun went off. One kid got hit in the head with the pistol.
That's pretty traumatizing.
Yeah,
I know.
Whatever. Heart attack, cigars. Kid gets pistol whipped. Give me a scotch. I'm fine.
And the funniest thing was the owner of the place looked like the owner of the place. Like he was like right out of Central Casting, and he's like, "Hey, folks, come on, floor show's over. Let's go back. Enjoy your meals, folks." And by the way, they didn't comp anything. They didn't like throw everybody a free drink to keep them there. Like they just business as
That's
usual.
bold.
In their defense, they got robbed. They're already out cash.
I know. But
Look
usually,
at you, you cheap ass bastard.
Yeah, but they
Excuse me.
probably think of how much they lost. Everybody left.
Okay, but like
Think of how many people would have stayed had you just given them a free drink.
it cleared out pretty quick. But I would have stayed for another scotch.
Well, Mike Muley shows up. Excuse me. That man was pistol whipped. I'd like a free drink. There is a woman in some serious trouble this morning.
With her child?
Well, it involves her child. And here's the thing. There are going to be people that hear this story and go, absolutely, she should be arrested. And that's not the argument that we're making here.
Okay.
What's interesting about this charge is there is no rock-solid, definitive charge for why she was arrested. It's written very vague, and it's written very vague on purpose. And there are parents that will hear what she was arrested for and realize, oh, my God, I'm comfortable doing that. I've got to stop.
Okay.
And we'll tell you all about it next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. There is a woman in town in a ton of trouble this morning for something involving her child.
That's not a good bet.
And look, the allegations are not great. However, she was arrested for breaking a law that isn't totally clear.
Okay.
And even the charges she's facing in this story are vague. Because when it comes to age, time, place, activity, every single parent has a different idea about what is okay.
All right.
And it turns out that may end up with your name and face on the news. You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5, WCMF. Just after 7:45 over the weekend, we lost a legendary actor. And an actor who you don't realize was in the things he was in.
What did we lose?
I think you can make the argument that this man who passed away led the greatest man life of all time.
Oh.
And we'll tell you who it is just after 7:45 here in the break room on CMF. A story that comes to us from SOTUS. A 32-year-old woman was arrested, charged with endangering the welfare of a child after police say she left her 3-year-old in the car alone.
Oh.
So, story on 10 NBC says at the time it was 28 degrees outside. They say the car was not running, and they say she was gone for, and I quote, an extended period of time. But they don't say how long the time was.
All right.
She was brought to Wayne County Jail for her arraignment. Now, what is weird about this story, and ones like it we've seen in the past, there are no definitive rules on what is and isn't legal as far as leaving your kid in the car.
Yeah.
And you can look it up for yourself if you want. The laws are very vague. And we're not here to argue that this woman shouldn't face charges, right? The details that we have in this story don't allow us to make a judgment that isn't based entirely on speculation.
All right.
However,
Yeah.
every single parent that can hear us right now, based on how vague all of this is, has a different idea about what is and isn't okay for the kid in the car.
So. Alone. Locked car.
Let me ask you this. You are not a parent. You've never been a parent, but you are a new granddaddy.
Oh, big time granddaddy.
How old, Tommy, is old enough to leave your kid in the car for 10 minutes?
Man. I would think 3 ain't it.
Okay, but what is that age?
Are they in a baby seat?
Yeah,
Car
in
seat,
3 you would be in a
yeah.
car seat. Yeah,
I mean, strapped in.
Yeah. I don't think 10 minutes for a 3-year-old is okay either. I'm asking you what age you would be comfortable leaving a child 10 minutes alone in the car.
I would say like 8 to 10-year-old.
You're
maybe?
under arrest.
Why? You can't do
No, I'm
that?
just kidding. There's no rule. We don't know what the rule is.
I would say 8 to 10-year-old.
10 minutes.
You can sit there and be quiet,
10 minutes.
playing the phone.
Okay. Playing the phone.
Yeah.
Batavia mock dogs. Kimmy, how old were you when your parents let you sit in the car alone while they were in Wegmans?
I had to be pretty young because I remember I never wanted to go in as a kid, so I don't know. My earliest memories, whenever that is, like maybe like 7, 8 years old.
Okay, because I feel like the
10?
same
I don't
thing.
know.
7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10
All right,
years
so
old.
I'm
Right?
dead on.
Now, usually I had my younger brother with me. I don't know if that makes it better or worse,
I
right?
don't either.
I would think the jackassery goes up if there's 2 in the car, because then you start like horsing around.
No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Single kid probably just sit there a little bit more quiet.
All right, so Kimmy, but that kid is also completely exposed by
Yeah,
themselves.
I mean, but there's lighters and stuff to play with.
I mean, we also
Back
had like
in my day, anyway.
that corner store my dad always had to stop at, and I feel like every time he just was like, "Well, I'll be right back," and left my brother and I in the car because we didn't want to go in. So yeah, it took him a minute or two, and then he'd be back out.
All right, 252-WCMF, 252-9263, just for argument's sake, to
Okay.
figure out where parents' heads are at. How old does your child have to be to leave them alone in a car for 10 minutes? Because, Kimmy, based on your childhood, what is your age right now, 10 minutes alone in the car?
I'm kind of with Tommy, 8.
Okay.
8 maybe be the earliest.
Because as a parent who has had an 8-year-old twice, there's no way I am leaving my 8-year-old in the car alone for 10 minutes.
Really?
And it's not out of fear that something would happen. It's not out of fear that my kid would do something irresponsible. It is 100%.
The way it looks.
Yes, out of the fear that someone would see my kid alone in
Okay.
that car, call the cops. And again, there's no rock solid law. So I don't know if the cop's going to come up to me and be like, hey, this is okay. If they're going to scold me and say, hey, don't do this again.
Yeah.
Or if unpopular radio personality arrested for child endangerment is a story on the news that night.
To your point, I can't remember the last time I noticed a kid in a car in a parking lot. You know, I feel like it would stand out to me if I saw a kid like just chilling in the back seat, and I have not seen that in a long time.
Which is interesting because you can make the argument that it's safer now to do it than it was when we were kids, right? Because kids have phones. Kids are well aware now of stranger danger more than we were.
Cars have alarms. You can lock and, yeah.
All of these things. I mean, as long as you're not keeping them in a Kia or a Hyundai where that car could go missing. Right? Like, I mean, it seems like a safer move. Not to mention there's closed circuit cameras everywhere.
Yeah, you're
right?
fine.
No, I'm not saying you're fine. I don't know what the age is.
Yeah.
But it's funny how our parents were totally fine with doing it at, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there's no way in a million years I'd do it with my kid now.
Yeah, to your point, you don't want to get narked on. So you wouldn't do it.
Well, but even that, see, like, we're on the same side. And then you go and you take it one step too far. Because I don't think that someone calling when they see a kid who they think is in a bad situation is a narc.
No, but they may just overreact in a moment because all you do is see a kid in a car.
Okay.
And you're just going to make a phone call based on nothing. Like that person could be 2 cars away talking to somebody, like a friend, and the kid's in the car. But you don't know that. You don't know the situation, so you're going to overreact.
2 cars away talking to a friend.
Man, you know how many times you see women in the parking lot talking to so-and-so over here, kids in the car. But I don't know if that's connected to that car, so I don't know what I'm looking at here.
To your point, ladies.
I mind my own business.
Ladies be talking.
All ladies be talking at Wegmans.
And they be shopping.
Mm-hmm. And in the way. You can't move to the side.
Okay.
You're going to stand right at the cart bay and have a yak fest.
Cart bay, go home. You don't work at a grocery store anymore.
I did.
Shut up.
I was an old bagger.
252 WCMF 252-9263. A 32-year-old woman arrested after police say she left her 3-year-old in a car alone for, quote, an extended period of time. They say it was 28 degrees outside. They say the car was not running. She's been charged with endangering the welfare of a child. But what's interesting about this story, again, is there is no rock-solid age written into the law where I am in trouble. There's no period of time given. It's just... It sounds like it's a judgment call for the police officer when they show up. If I'm wrong, 252 WCMF.
Would it also vary depend on where this car was parked in front of?
Okay.
Like, would you give a little bit more leeway if it's like, a grocery store or something where, like maybe they just had to run in quick and get something as opposed to something that you would assume would take more time?
Give me something that would take more. Like, okay, I get it. If a parent leaves a 3-year-old in the car and goes and sits down and has dinner for 45 minutes, that I understand. But even going into a grocery store is never quick.
No. You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's a 15-minute commitment, minimum.
Yeah, true.
Even getting in and out.
Maybe just draw a mustache on your kid.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like a little Italian man. All old Italian men stay in the car while the wife shops. Okay.
Kimmy, you brought up your dad going into the convenience store and leaving you and your brother at the time. Okay. If I had to run into the gas station and get milk when my kids were really little, 2, 3, 4 years old, and I had them in the back of the car, even if they were asleep in the car seat, I always woke them up and I took them in. And it sucked.
Then you got to re-hook them up.
Tommy, it's 5 minutes on each side, getting them out and putting them back in. But there was no way I was risking someone looking in the back of my window and seeing a 2, 3, 4-year-old kid alone because someone was going to make that phone call. Someone was going to make it. And here's the thing. The safer, smarter thing to do in that period, I'm going to be in there for 3 minutes maximum, was to leave the kid in the car.
Yeah.
Kid wasn't going to be cranky. There was no risk that I was going to drop that kid while I'm holding a gallon of milk in the other hand. Like, the kid's safer in the damn car. I can see them out the window, but somebody makes that call and my wife finds out or I get in trouble.
You're screwed.
I am screwed, Tommy.
I'm amazed like Wegmans or Tops or whatever haven't come up with the convenience store drive-through side of the store.
Well, they have a pickup spot.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you do have the pickup
Yeah.
spot. Yeah.
Well, so Delta Sonic has what they call the super drive-through window, where it looks like you can get anything you want, but I've never tried it before, so I don't know how it works.
Oh, all right. But it'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple things you need. You're going to need your smokes and your milk.
Well, it would also not look great if I'm like, hey, I got a 3-year-old in the back of the car. Can I get my smokes?
Oh, people smoke so they got kids.
People smoking, you got kids.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge that person.
You one of those little Italian men with the mustache now? People smoking, you got kids. Hey, we got Facebook messages coming in. You can always get us at WCMF for the Break Room Facebook page. Mike writes us in reference to this woman being charged. He says, all she had to do was leave the car on to make sure the kid was warm and things would have been fine. That seems like the worst idea.
Yeah, leaving a car running with a kid in it is a worse idea.
That car gets stolen.
Then it's illegal to leave your car running and you walk away from it. So you just added a charge.
I get
to
why
your
you
thing.
wouldn't do that. Yeah.
And we've seen kids in the back of cars where the car has been stolen.
Yep.
Those people want those parents' head on a pike.
Yes.
But Mike's kind of proven our point here. It sounds like he'd be okay with a 3-year-old in the back of the car alone as long as the kid is warm enough.
Okay.
Like that's where his line seems to be. By the way, it's not just with cars and parking lots where this problem exists.
What's that?
Well, the same thing happens with kids staying home alone. Because again, there isn't a legal age written down where the state says it's okay for your kid to be on their own alone in the house. Which you understand, kids mature at different ages.
Yeah.
But Tommy, we do see people get arrested for endangering the welfare of a child when a kid is left home alone. And it's just strange that people can be arrested with no guidance.
And no age.
Yeah. Like there's not even like a rail,
Yeah.
right, to keep people on like here's where you
Yeah,
should
but
work.
they should. Because, I mean, if you had a 14-year-old kid, they could stay home alone.
And
they can literally burn your house down.
You're right. You're right. But like, look, man, my youngest, when she was 8, no joke.
No problem.
I would have been completely comfortable. She's the most responsible, mature kid you ever met in your life. I would have been totally comfortable with that kid staying home alone. And there's no way, obviously, I would have left an 8-year-old home alone only because of the way people would have judged.
Right.
Something goes wrong, God forbid. I mean, hell, it was the responsible one that was home alone for the 5 minutes when the oven caught on
Oh,
fire.
yeah,
the other
right,
day.
with the seltzer.
Exactly. Could you imagine
No.
if that kid was younger and the cops get there before I do?
No, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Unpopular radio personality arrested, also out of stove.
Wow, second time
I
today
know
you got arrested.
It's not good. All right, let's take a break. You can make the argument that this actor who we lost over the
Who
weekend.
did we lose?
How did you not see this? You know what it is?
Is he
saw
one of
it.
these bottom feeding
See,
actors?
you're going to make the argument that he is until because you don't realize what he was in.
Yeah, is he one of these? He's like in everything, but it didn't count.
Oh no,
Oh no, he's been in some classics.
this guy is instantly
With some,
recognizable.
yeah, like cult following.
And major hits. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
the first major movie he was in won an Oscar.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't just the acting that he had. He lived 2 fantasies
Oh,
in one life.
Damn.
And even the second fantasy that he ended up having, he lived the fantasy within that fantasy where he got to do all the cool movie stuff.
wow.
We'll tell you who we're talking about, and we'll do it next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. we all have really silly dreams when we're younger.
Oh, sure.
What we want to be when we grow up, like astronaut, president, quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? And hell, most of us, all of us almost, never get to live one of those fantasies.
Yeah.
But we have a man who passed away over the weekend who got to live every one of those fantasies that every little boy has as a child.
Really?
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF will jump right into it. Over the weekend, actor Carl Weathers, passed away on Thursday. We found out over the weekend. Actor Carl Weathers died at 76 years old.
He's a big one.
Oh, was he? Because you were about to crap all over.
I didn't know it was Carl Weathers.
How did you miss that Carl Weathers died?
I missed.
How? He's an American icon.
Great actor. Great character actor. He was never a lead guy.
Okay.
But he filled the role.
Okay.
In some big movies.
Huge, some of the biggest of all time.
Yeah.
I will say he made some movies. Him being in it, not even be the lead guy, may have saved some movies.
I'm with you. So Carl Weathers may have led the greatest guy life of all time. Here's your fun facts. You ready? Carl Weathers played college football at San Diego State as a linebacker. He parlayed that into a contract with the Raiders when college was over.
No
But he
kidding.
played for the Raiders?
He played for a season and a half with the Raiders in the 70s.
Did not know that.
So he got to live that professional football dream with one of the most iconic teams
Gave it
of
a
that
try.
era.
So did he
Yeah.
play with like Madden and Matuzak and those guys?
I believe so.
All right.
Kimmy, can you check if Carl Weathers was on the roster when they won a Super Bowl? He might have a Super Bowl ring. By the way, while at San Diego State playing football, he was also majoring in performance, which is something his teammates made fun of him for constantly.
So he was taking acting.
You got it. So after some small television roles, when he got out of the NFL, he blows up when he shockingly lands Apollo Creed and Rocky.
Right.
Fun fact, that was supposed to be boxer Ken Norton,
Oh, really?
and he passed on it. He signed up.
Because Ken Norton did a lot of acting.
Yeah, no. And they gave it to Carl Weathers. He does 3 Rocky movies.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in all of them.
I would say arguably he made those movies.
I'm
Because
with
you
you.
had to have that guy you hated and then the guy you turned around and loved.
But that's just it. Like, you hated him and you loved him at the same
But
time.
that's a hard thing to do, and he did it.
Yeah, and he got to do that scene in Rocky 4. No, I'm sorry, he was in 4 Rockies. In Rocky 4, when James Brown is singing "Living in America,"
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
with
he
the
comes
American
down on
flag.
the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That in itself is a
Iconic.
man fantasy.
Hot coffee and a hard roll.
So look, if we stopped his career at that point, it's brilliant,
Yep.
right? But he's not done. He gets another ultimate guy role in Predator.
I don't remember that. I wasn't big in those kind of movies.
Oh, because you're a puss-ass bitch?
Which one? What is Predator?
Predator's the one where it's like kind of like an alien. It's in the jungle.
So he gets
Arnold
killed, I'm
Schwarzenegger
sure.
And,
How soon does Carl get killed?
Why are you asking?
Because you know how it goes in Hollywood.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Brother, do not get off the boat. Because every time a black person in those movies, they're always the first one to get killed. Look at Anaconda. Remember Star Trek? If there was a brother being beamed down, don't worry, he's not coming back.
So that would have been enough.
All right.
Real quick, does not have a Super Bowl.
Okay,
ring.
so he
he
wasn't
played
there for the Super Bowl.
1970, 1971 season.
Okay. So those all add Predator we should have been
Okay.
done. But it turns out Carl Weathers was also funny as hell because he shows up again in Happy Gilmore as Chubbs.
Okay.
He crushes that role, and he is one of the best characters in TV show history. He plays a cheap, broke version of himself in the show Arrested Development.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people haven't seen that show. It's worth watching just his clips.
Was he in any other movies, like comedic movies?
Now, I don't know about comedic movies, but he was recently in the Star Wars series The Mandalorian, which he was nominated for an Emmy
Yeah.
for.
Damn.
Which, I mean, if you can get into that, the Star Wars universe,
you're
you're
fat.
huge on a whole other level that we
Yeah.
won't understand.
And he did it in his 70s, having never had that kind of experience before.
Yeah.
So he's been in 3 of the biggest, most iconic movie franchises in history in Star Wars,
Yeah.
Predator, and Rocky. Oh, and that career that we glossed over in television?
Yeah.
You ready for this? He had roles in Good Times,
Well, yeah.
The $6 Million Man, Starsky and Hutch, In the Heat of the Night. Like, he was just banging all
Yeah.
these things out. He also got to fight Nazis next to Harrison Ford in Force 10 from Navarone.
Oh my God, that's going way back.
I know. Find me a guy. He
right.
got to play in the NFL, all these classic guy flicks. He made folks laugh like hell. That dude won life. Like, if you gave me a choice to be one person, I want to be Carl Weathers.
Okay.
Who's better? Who's led a cooler life than Carl
Yeah.
Weathers?
Did you know he was supposed to apparently be in a Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, so it was through FanDuel
I can't remember.
Quite
what it-
recently.
this weekend.
Yes. Yeah, says they had to adjust the commercial.
Wonder what it was going to be.
I don't know.
Like, was he playing himself or
I
a
don't
character?
know. Yeah, I think it was FanDuel, but I could be wrong. Yeah, they came out and said that they're, for out of respect for the family, they're going to adjust.
You think
the
they would
Yes,
honor
it
him
was
and put him in
FanDuel.
the goddamn ad?
Well, I don't know what the family wants. Maybe the family doesn't want that.
Get the money, man.
They probably already got the money.
You will always be more money,
Why
man.
would
Carl
you-
didn't make the big. But here's the one thing he didn't probably get. He didn't get the big payoff like these other guys got.
In all those movies? You don't
No,
think?
because he was a side guy. I mean,
Yeah, but
Rocky
I don't know
was
what they
written and
get.
owned by Stallone.
Yeah, but he probably
Stallone
gets,
got all the money.
Yeah, but he probably gets residuals. That movie is.
Yeah.
There was okay. Listen,
Bro, I get it. He ain't broke, but he didn't get the big Hollywood money.
Oh my God! Like, how do you always find a way to crap
I'm
on somebody?
sticking up for the
No,
guy.
you're not.
Get the payoff.
He's dead. He doesn't need the payoff.
The family always needs money.
For the family.
The family.
The family.
You're leaving children behind, Carl.
252 WCMF 25. He's in his 70s. His kids are probably in his 50s.
You got grandkids.
252 WCMF. Carl Weathers, actor, football player, passes away on Thursday. We found out about it over the weekend at the age of 76, but it's the greatest life of all time.
Yeah.
And like those, you're right. Those Rocky movies are not Rocky without Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Because
Hell,
even,
the Creed is based on his character.
yeah, which I thought wasn't there a falling out between Stallone and Carl Weathers because
Yeah, because you want to get paid.
well, he made that character.
Yes.
Right? So I feel like I read something about this. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Right? I would understand why you see this movie series continue. The reason it's continuing is because of,
The character you built.
exactly, and you're not really a part of it in person.
Yeah.
That would bother me a little
Yeah,
bit.
I get it. And I bet you didn't get a squat for it.
It's not all about the money, man.
It's
Not
Hollywood.
all about the money.
It's all about Hollywood and blow.
We got Facebook messages coming in. You can always get us at WCMF for the Break Room Facebook page. Here we go. Here we
Right.
go again. Every movie after this, I'm sorry. This comes in from Dan. Every movie other than Rocky 1 you name sucks.
Well, they did start going downhill a little bit.
No, up until
I don't
5 was
know,
the
though.
first
He
bad one.
He was in a bunch of different genres. Like,
Okay, no. Carl Weathers, I'm with you.
oh, who are you talking
If we're
about?
talking straight Rockies,
The first Rocky was one of the greatest movies of all time.
won an Oscar. Second Rocky was also great. Third Rocky, also great. Fourth Rocky, also great. I'll give you 5. 5 was terrible. 5
There's
was
no
awful.
such thing as four great movies in a row.
Bro, they just kept
Yeah,
doing it.
You'll sit down and watch them if they're on.
The first one, yes.
Really? That's the only one?
Have
Wait,
you-
I
did
only
you
saw
see
1
the
and
other
2.
one?
I've only seen 1 and 2.
You didn't see Rocky 3?
No,
Wow.
no.
I think I'm wearing my Clubber Lang underpants this morning.
I'm sure you are.
I'm not making that up. I'll show
Like, it's
you.
almost impossible to avoid seeing those movies.
They don't do it for me after a while.
How? What do you talk, bro? Any Rocky, other than 5, and even 5, I'll stop. If it's on TV, I will stop and I'll watch the rest of that movie. How do you not get juiced up watching the end of those movies? Right?
you
He gets
kinda know
Clubber
how
Lang
it's
on the road. You so bad.
Because here's the
I'm
thing,
getting
like,
jacked up right now.
because the one of the problems I always had with Rocky was because the original Rocky, he was a guy from the street.
Yeah.
He was an uneducated guy that was going to sacrifice his body for the American dream.
Sure.
It's a phenomenal story. But as it went on, he got better looking and smarter as he proceeded to get punched in the head. Like they ruined the character by making him too Hollywood. But that original movie looked like something gritty and tough.
I agree with you, but even look, the fight scenes are ridiculous. I agree with you. It's like they're getting hit in the head with sledgehammers every
Yes.
time they throw a punch. And Rocky 2, where they both knock each other down at the same time, and it's a race to get back up, is also silly. But it doesn't change the fact that they're well-written, great character-driven movies.
Yes,
Except in Rocky 3, where Paulie gets a talking robot for some reason.
he did.
You
No.
never saw 3?
No.
Was that 3? That was 3.
I don't know. See, that's how when this
Or was that
genre is starting to suck. You can't remember each
Well,
individual
how good
movie.
they are.
Are you ready for this?
Right.
I don't know how we got here, but we got here. You know my brother Ryan, he's on the show every once in a while. His wife apparently works for a company where one of the guys she works with, owns that robot.
Wait, he bought it?
He owns the robot
The
somehow.
original
Why?
robot.
And he told my sister-in-law that if they wanted to come to somewhere in Connecticut, they could see the robot. Paulie's Rocky robot. And my brother flipped out. Like,
That's one step below knowing Frank Stallone.
No, I would rather have the robot. Than
I'd
no
rather meet
Frank
Frank Stallone.
Do we still have that drop? Because it would go great here. Damn it. It is far from over.
I can't remember. I can't believe you remember that song.
Who forgets Frank Stallone?
A lot of people
Everybody.
calling and yelling at Tommy because Carl Weathers was in Action Jackson. You said you said he
That
never
was a good-
starred in anything.
Yeah.
I
That was a
forgot
good one.
about that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, did you?
Of course I did.
Oh, apparently I saw that. Didn't remember it was Carl Weathers, but I saw
I
that.
completely forgot about it.
All right. So what we've determined here, a couple of things. One, every Rocky movie except for 5 is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
2, Predator is really good. 3, Carl Weathers led the ultimate guy life.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it coming into the break. Like, I never get, like, sad about celebrity deaths. I've never met Carl Weathers. I don't know Carl Weathers. When I saw that come across social media on Friday night, I was legitimately upset.
Well, you're getting to that time now where a lot of these old movie guys are going to start dropping off.
I don't think that's what it was. I just think it was
It's more the
Carl-
connection. And
Yeah, I felt the connection to
Wait,
Carl
well, how are you going to
Weathers.
feel when Stallone takes a pass? What? It's his goddamn movie.
There was nothing else that Stallone was in where I
Rambo?
was like, I mean, I like Rambo.
First Blood?
Okay, but again, like I don't have a connection with Rambo. I never served. I don't
No.
you know what I mean? Like with Carl Weathers, I was a boxer, right? So like I was into that, right? He was so good in that movie. Predator was just a cool, fun flick. He was really funny in Happy Gilmore. He was great in Arrested Development, which was one of my favorite shows of all time. Like every part of my life, Carl Weathers was there, and I didn't even. Carl Weathers was there for me the whole time, and I didn't even realize.
He's a comfort person.
I looked down and I saw one set of footprints, and I turned and asked what happened, and Carl Weathers said that was me carrying you the entire time.
So your fantasy is Carl Weathers and you on the beach and
I
he's
was
carrying you around.
I was doing the religious poem
I gotcha.
Footprints in the Sand, and because you didn't pay
But you
attention in
turn Carl
theology,
Weathers into Jesus.
Carl Weathers may be my savior.
All right. Wow.
Well, he saved us from those Nazis.
Yeah, he did.
Force 10 from never. All right, let's take a break. We brought up a story last week involving cameras and doorbells and how
the Ring cam.
Yeah, policies are changing based on something that Ring decided to do. And we'll recap that story for you real quick. But off of that story, we got a Facebook message from someone that is very concerned about something going on in their neighborhood.
Oh.
Somebody wants the camera footage they have on their Ring cam, one of their neighbors.
Oh.
And they don't want to give it up. And there's a reason why.
Okay.
We'll tell you all about it next in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. On one hand, all of us have a duty to uphold the law and share what we know when a crime happens.
Okay.
On the other hand, no one likes a snitch.
No.
And that's the issue one of our listeners has after a story we told you about last week. Because in helping one person they live near, they could be starting serious problems with another one.
Yeah.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF will jump right into it. Last week, we told you about how Ring, the doorbell camera manufacturer,
Yeah.
which is owned by Amazon, was no longer turning over footage to police for investigations. So it turns out that Ring was doing this without notice of the owners of the cameras.
They're just doing it behind their backs, not even telling them.
Yep, they weren't asking if they could use your footage and give it to police. They would just do it. Something a lot of camera owners were unaware of, and a lot of camera owners did not like, privacy concerns.
Yeah.
So they're no longer sharing it with law enforcement. But the Monroe County Sheriff's Department came up with a solution.
What they do?
Well, they established a portal that lets folks who live in Monroe County that own any kinds of cameras sign up to share them, if they want, with law enforcement in the event their cameras catch a crime.
Okay.
Everybody wins.
But you agree to do this.
Exactly, right? You know it's happening. They can ask you for it. The police has now the opportunity to comb through all this stuff. Seems like a good solution.
Yeah, I think so.
So after we had that discussion, we got a Facebook message from someone who asked to remain anonymous.
Okay.
And they were asking us if the sheriff's department could forcefully take their camera footage. So based on the story we had, Kimmy, it doesn't seem that way.
No.
But it's why they asked that's so interesting.
What happened?
So this person, again, that asked to remain anonymous,
All right, cool.
wrote us, quote, "My neighbor asked everyone on the street for their footage after their car was hit parked on the street.
Oh.
They think it's another one of our neighbors and want to give it to the police. I haven't looked, and I don't want to share it because I like both of these people, and I don't want to get caught in the middle of these two fighting with each other."
You don't.
Yeah,
You don't.
I'm not blowing in one neighbor.
No.
Yeah, especially if it's take the relationships out of it. You might like one better than the other. I don't want to be involved at all.
Okay. Now, it's a hell of a dilemma. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't this also the subject of our Hate Mail of the Week last week?
We did have a few weeks ago was something similar. They thought the teenager hit their car.
How often are neighbors asking each other for camera footage to bust another neighbor? Because this is it's the second one that actually happened here in Rochester. Yeah. If you think someone who lives near you did something bad to another neighbor, neither of you are giving them that footage.
Especially if it's like a scratch and dent situation. I'm not getting involved, man.
So they come to you,
Yeah.
and they go, "Tommy," they explain the situation, and they ask you for the footage. You're telling them no to their face.
I'm just not even going to deal.
No. You don't know why they're knocking on the door.
I don't know how that damn thing works, man.
Oh, can I talk to your wife then?
She ain't home right now.
Really? I see you're back there.
I don't want to deal.
No, but not voluntarily giving up is one thing. When they're standing in front of you, asking for it, because, here's the thing. You want to play it off like you're not a snitch, but you're also a coward.
And a known hider.
Known hider.
Yep.
There's no way your bitch-ass, coward-ass, non-confrontational bitch, coward-ass, bitch-ass
That's a lot of bitch standing there.
could tell that man no to his face.
I guess not, but
Oh, so now you're a
man.
snitch, you bitch-ass, snitch-ass, bitch-ass snitch?
But I'm done with that guy. I'm done.
But
With the guy that asked.
Yeah.
How you done with him? You just can't. You just turned it over.
I know,
You're
but I
not
don't want
done
to deal with
him
him anymore.
You helped him out.
the People's Exhibit A.
Yeah, he's gonna return for more.
Can I get
And they
a
always
link?
do.
Can I get a link into your camera live, please?
That sucks, man, because I don't want to deal. And then you're going to have to deal with the other guy, probably.
All right.
If, you know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm with you. The phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. But can I ask what you think you'd be doing wrong in turning that footage over?
Nothing wrong. I just don't want to be involved.
Okay.
I guess it's an issue for you two grown-ass people to deal with, not my ass.
Yeah.
Because I was
ahead,
going
I'm
to say,
sorry.
most likely if they're coming to you for your Ring footage, it has to do with a neighbor that's closer to you because they figure you caught it on your camera.
Okay, maybe.
So if it's like somebody, directly next door that you could potentially be getting in trouble with the other neighbor, I don't know if I want to share a property line with somebody who I turned footage in for.
And you're going to be the go-between between these two people.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yes. You will, because that other person's going to have an issue with this crap.
The person who you give the footage to is absolutely going to say, "I got this from your neighbor."
Okay.
You
You're
can't
gonna get
prove
sucked
it
in on both
otherwise.
sides. Remember when
Yeah.
I had that party and somebody at my party hit another person at my party's car.
And then they stopped and they got out and they knocked on the door and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry. I made a mistake here."
And everything was cool, right?
Now, what happened? I don't remember.
So it was a hit and run.
Yeah.
He hit another buddy's car, crushed it,
Yeah.
and then split and also drove over my neighbor's property line.
Yeah.
And my neighbor just getting up at the middle of the night sees my other buddy driving his truck over his property and splitting.
So what did you do?
So I know who did it. And my buddy is, but I can't, like, they're both coming to me. Like, the one buddy's going, "Man, you got to be cool."
Okay.
And the other buddy's going, "Man, is he going to confess?"
Sure.
And I got stuck in the middle,
So-
and it's really hard. And,
So
like,
what did you do?
I felt nothing. There's nothing I could do.
Oh, no, you could tell him who it was.
I can't because
Why?
I didn't see it.
You know.
But your neighbor.
Oh, I know. Look, I know I overserved them both.
Look at you. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you know exactly who did it. You could have
But
said
you don't
this
know
was...
who. But I don't.
Oh, my God.
But don't forget, I also gave that guy 5 Manhattans.
Okay.
Which I shouldn't have done.
Sure.
But I make a really good Manhattan.
Okay.
If you ever want one, I'm your guy. I make them on the sweet
Noted.
side.
I bet you do. What I'm saying is, you know, that's
So
what I'm
you
saying.
didn't want any involvement because you felt responsibility.
But there
in
was
this
nothing I really
situation.
could do unless this guy says, "Yeah, I even if I said, yeah, I know you did it." Good luck with that.
Okay.
Nobody saw it.
Like, I love how you're like sitting here like it's a court of law. That's not how this works in the real
And don't forget,
world.
and then I got a neighbor
Yeah.
who is this guy is
That's
the,
who I'd be more concerned with.
well, he was
in
the
all
coolest
honesty.
guy I ever met.
You're lucky.
He was just a great neighbor. I love this guy. And to this day.
Look at you knobbing this dude because, "Oh, he's so good. You're so good because
He wasn't pissed, man. He wasn't pissed about his yard. I loved it because he had every reason to be really pissed off.
Yeah.
He was cool.
You're a scumbag. You're an effing scumbag.
I'm a scumbag, yes. Did I invite other scumbags to my party? Yes. Did I overserve those scumbags? Yes. So, yes, I am technically somewhat involved. But I can't win. That's
There
my
was
point.
no but on the end of that. Like it was yes, 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 yes. There's no okay. 252 WCMF.
And this could happen to you.
Facebook message coming in after a story we talked about last week about the Monroe County Sheriff's Department asking people to sign up for this portal after the Ring camera company decided to stop sharing camera footage with the police department. This person writes us asking if the police could force them to give the footage from their cameras up. We don't think so based on the story, but they asked because one of their neighbors wants their Ring camera footage. They say that somebody hit their car. They think they have it on their Ring camera footage, and they believe it's another neighbor, and this person does not want to give up the camera footage. Let me ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Because, again, I understand, in theory, both of your concerns about pissing off a neighbor
Right.
and you getting caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
What would the neighbor, let's say it was the neighbor who damaged this person's car here. How could that neighbor be upset with you? Because you didn't do anything wrong.
No, but
They did wrong.
I know, but you're kind of like tattletale.
No, but you're not blowing them in. You're simply providing the footage of what happened.
You
That's
are
a
blowing them
tattletale.
in.
But that is kind of like you're kind of setting me up here, man.
Okay, it would be one thing if I witnessed
Yeah.
a car being damaged, walked down to the other person's house, knocked on the door and said, "Jim, Steve just hit your car, and I
Right.
saw it with my own eyes."
Pointing it out.
That's a tattletale. To simply provide footage of what happened, having no idea what went down, is different. And I think that neighbor would understand.
Wait, the neighbor that you.
Narked
The
on.
neighbor that did wrong
I'm not-
would
yeah.
understand?
Yes.
Because he knows what he did.
Hell
But
no.
I'm not narking.
But he knows what he did.
Okay.
And he's trying to get away with it. Don't forget that, because I'm thinking this other neighbor is trying to pull a fast one so he doesn't have to pay, his insurance.
I love how you say pull a fast one. You mean it's not pulling. It's how this works. You
Hit and
get
run.
the other person who committed the crime to figure out how we're going to handle this.
But he doesn't want to deal. I mean, he hit your neighbor's. He hit his neighbor's car and then just pulled into his driveway. So I don't know what this guy's thinking. And I don't want to deal with that dude.
Like you can't even do the backflips to justify the crime. Like you think just saying words makes it better.
What do you do?
I would
Because
give
he
him
knows what he did.
Look, I'm giving him the footage, man. I didn't do anything wrong. I just caught it. I can't tell the guy no to his face. I need that guy
I
to
know.
look out for my house too.
What about the other guy?
Well, look.
What if you're buds with that guy?
You did wrong, and I'm not tattling.
You
It's just
did wrong. You did wrong.
I can't be sure that it was your car. I'm just providing the footage. I don't know.
Okay. I guess you could go down, but you did look at it. You could see him like hit the other guy's car, and then that grainy of him running into the house.
Right, he's sprinting.
Yeah.
Oh, the car's already damaged in his driveway. What would running into the house do?
Well, he probably ran in
Wouldn't your fear
because it was a crunch.
also be, let's say you had a neighbor that did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to turn in the footage because they were trying to get away with something. My fear is, what is this person, like, is this, like, if it's a sketchy neighbor, are they going to mess with my stuff now?
Okay, but
You know what I mean? Because there are some neighbors where I just from viewing stuff that they do, they don't seem like bad people, but they're a little strange sometimes.
Different
And
lifestyle.
I don't know if I piss them off, what they will do in return.
Okay, you have to break it down into two categories. If this was an accident and you know it, there should be no concern turning over that footage. If this other neighbor did something intentional to the neighbor that wants the footage, then I understand the concern. Because if they went out of their way to be weird to that neighbor, you're right. How do I know they're not going to do that to me?
Okay. But what if there's one of those neighbors? Because every neighborhood has that one house.
Mm-hmm.
Shades always closed.
Okay.
Light on in the basement. Hold on. You never see anybody outside.
Okay.
Like they just come in, they drive in, no matter what the weather, they're just like those neighbors you just never see.
Sure.
And that guy is the one that hit the other guy's car.
Okay.
Weirdo, isolationist.
You don't know he's a weirdo. He just doesn't talk to anybody.
Neighbor.
You don't know they're a weirdo.
But they don't do nothing outside.
Okay.
There's always that neighbor.
You're defining me, by the way.
Lighting on the basement.
Lighting on the basement.
Always on in the basement.
Just have some questions.
Yeah, they're weirdos.
No, but that's not a weirdo.
That's a weirdo.
That's me in my neighborhood. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to go in my house. I'm going to stay in my house.
Yeah, but your kids and your wife are social. I'm talking a whole family.
Okay.
There's always that one house, bro.
I'm giving up the footage, man. I can't tell somebody no to their face. I just can't do it.
All right.
Especially when I know they've been wronged.
So here comes isolationist Bob.
252 WCMF. Folks have been waiting patiently. Let's talk to Dave. Hey, Dave, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, when it comes to that Ring camera stuff, you got to stand your ground and make the cops or whoever get a search warrant or a subpoena. Make them work for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like telling that to the police department.
Well,
hey, work for it, buddy. By the way, if I have any problems, you come to my house and help me?
Well, I mean, Dave, that's the thing, right? Like, if they were asking for the stuff and there's an issue in your neighborhood, now I get the idea that people didn't like Ring just giving up their stuff without any permission. I mean, Dave, if there was a crime in your neighborhood and let's say the authorities came and said, hey, can we have your Ring camera? You wouldn't give it up for them?
No, make them get a search warrant.
Okay. So
By the
how
way,
would you?
they're just going to go get a search warrant,
Well, maybe
and you're
not.
still going
I
to
mean,
turn it over.
It could be a small thing. But, Dave, like, how would you explain to let's say your neighbor was a victim of a break-in across the street, the police want it, and you tell the police, go get a search warrant. Like, if your neighbor's upset about that, how would you explain that to them?
Tell a neighbor to get a subpoena, too. You can kiss my rear end.
Okay. All right.
He's a friendly type, this Dave.
If you don't exercise your rights, you're going to lose them.
Well, no,
the First Amendment is a big one.
No, I understand that there are situations.
Would you be upset with a neighbor if they didn't turn over footage if your house got broken into?
No.
All right, fair.
Everyone's going to break it at Dave's house.
If you can get past my dogs in the 357, you're welcome to take anything out of my house.
All right, so just to be clear, right's very important, but you're going to try and kill anybody that shows up at your house.
Hey, if they're in my house uninvited middle of the night, if the dog don't like them, they're getting
All right, what if they break in but the dog likes them? Like the dog is friendly towards the person that break. Like you come downstairs, you got the 357 Magnum, and, and he the dog's upside down. He's giving him belly rubs. He's got all your stuff, but the dog likes him. What do you do then, Dave?
I have to shoot the dog too.
Wow.
The traitor.
All right, Dave. Thanks for the call, buddy. Hey, that's your guy, by the way.
No
He's on your
further
side.
questions.
He is on both of your sides on that.
Nah, I'm not that.
Come with the war. Come with the subpoena. D. Go ahead, do. I'm with Tammy and Kimmy. Team shoot the dog.
Traitor dog.
One quick question before we move on, because we are late here.
right.
I'm sorry. Let's say, because again, you said you admitted you were a coward, and you would not tell the man who wanted the footage no to his face.
Yeah.
So you give it up.
Yeah.
Would you give the neighbor who you know is in trouble a heads up you handed the footage over?
Might do that.
Which I think is fair.
Yeah.
So you would say, hey, just so you know.
Yeah.
But you would also be
I
standing...
mean, I wouldn't go out of my way, but if I saw him out, I mean, I'm not going
You have
next.
to go out of your way.
I'm not going next
That's not
door.
just something you mentioned casually in passing.
You're going to yell into the other yard, hey, listen, that hit and run, I had to give the camera footage over. Good luck.
But I'm in the yard a lot, so if I see the guy, coming in, I might, I would give him a heads up, but I wouldn't go out of my way.
Kimmy, would you give them a heads up?
I think I would have to. I don't want to, because I don't want to deal with the aftermath. So I think to soften the blow, I would say something up front.
How do you know that would soften the blow? Because now you're face to face with this person who is finding out in that moment that you gave them the footage.
Mm-hmm.
That's been your concern this whole time. Now all of a sudden you guys are like, oh, hey, buddy, listen, you might have a serious charge coming your way on account of me sharing that footage.
And they're all, and each side's going to want you to be on their side, right?
Well, yeah, because both sides think they're right.
Right, and that puts you in the middle again, which sucks.
I would say put you on the other guy's side. I don't think your neighbor that is going to be too happy you turned it over.
It's like they always say, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Yeah.
You kidding me? We play that song like every other day. Let's take a break. It looks like it's now just a matter of time before this thing that folks have wanted forever in New York State is going to show up.
Oh.
It makes your life a hell of a lot easier.
Okay.
It makes things more convenient for everybody. And you can make the argument that the producers of this product will make a ton more money. But it will also destroy a business that we've had in this state forever. At least that's the argument from these businesses.
Oh, it's gonna put somebody out?
They're looking for a compromise, Tommy. Is there one?
Oh.
We'll get into it next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. New year, same issue.
What happened?
Every time the calendar turns, this alcohol-related debate pops up again in Albany. And every year, nothing really changes.
Oh.
But now the full court press is being put on. And there are a ton of folks who say, I don't want to have to make 2 trips when I need this type of alcohol.
Okay.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5. WCMF will jump right into it. Story on Spectrum News this weekend. Once again, the issue of wine being sold in grocery stores in the state of New York is up for debate in Albany. So for the few who don't know, it's against the law to sell wine or liquor in grocery stores in New York. That's why you don't see it. And we seem to be pretty unique in that way. If you've ever been to grocery stores in other states, seems the further south you go, the more prominent it is.
Yes.
There are full wine aisles.
Yeah.
Right? It says wine. Folks who don't want it are the liquor stores. Past the obvious argument that it'll close a lot of mom and pop businesses, most of them located near grocery stores.
Right next door.
They also make another interesting argument, Tommy.
What's that?
These liquor stores say allowing grocery stores to sell wine will cut down on the selection that wine people will have to buy. They say we're a specialty store. We carry a lot more. Grocery stores won't have the floor space to do that. And they say when these smaller stores inevitably have to close, it's actually going to hurt our local wine industry, which is an interesting argument I hadn't heard before.
Okay, so they're saying like Wegmans wouldn't have the wine selection?
Well, so here's the thing. Like, if you walk into a liquor store, I mean, there are, some of them have aisles and aisles of super specific wine from super specific places. And as great as Wegmans does with all the stuff they do, you would have to wonder if they put the actual wine in an aisle in the grocery store. I mean, short of turning the entire grocery store into a liquor store, how would you have that kind of space? And I understand that Wegmans always does things big.
Right.
And your argument for having this is you want to see what Wegmans will do with it.
Right. Because they are doing it in other states where they can sell wine.
You got it. But you have to remember, not everyone in the state of New York has access to a Tops or a Wegmans.
Okay, so if you go to South Florida, Publix and Winn-Dixie and all those grocery stores all can sell wine in the store.
Okay.
Okay. And there are still mom and pop and wine and liquor warehouses throughout Florida. It didn't kill their business.
Okay.
Now, I know it's a bigger state with a lot more people coming in, but it didn't seem to hurt them.
So let me ask you this question just from a curiosity standpoint. Well, Florida's not known for its wine, right?
No.
Okay.
But they are known for drinking and making bad decisions.
I see it in the news all the time. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand why that argument then here in New York would be unique, because there are a lot of mom and pop farm grape growing
So you're talking
wineries.
Like, okay, the vineyards and stuff like
yeah.
that.
That, I mean, look, that argument.
But it's not going to hurt the Finger Lakes tourism industry.
Well, it's not so much the tourism. I mean, look, I don't know what a winery
What their
makes.
sales is, like outside of the actual winery.
You got it. Like, does the winery exist to make money, or does the winery exist because it's like top of mind for people to try it and then go buy that bottle when they go back home? I don't know what the breakdown is. Do maybe wineries make more money at the wineries when people go through and they try stuff? Because can they sell full bottles of wine at wineries on wine tours?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the breakdown is.
All right.
Is it just a matter of time before this law changes?
Don't you think? I mean, if other states are doing it, and I can't believe like Wegmans doesn't have the juice to get Albany to bend over and do this.
But when you put it like that, bend over. Let me sell wine in the grocery store. What is Danny yelling at him?
Wegmans has the juice.
The wine juice, baby. And don't forget,
wine is juice.
Wegmans did buy up liquor stores, and they operate liquor stores. So they are squeezing you out because they just bought the bigger stores.
Yeah, so Wegmans owns a liquor store next to the...
well, they own Century.
Yeah, Century next to the one in Pittsburgh, or across the plaza from the one in Pittsburgh. And there's one right next door to the Henrietta location across from the mall. Are those the only two that they own?
I think I have 3.
Where's the third one?
I thought Lisa's.
Oh.
Also theirs.
Okay.
I thought. So, I mean, they're going to get around it.
I mean, they kind of are. Not to mention, I mean, Wegmans isn't the only one doing it. Costco, for example, has its own separate liquor store in the same building.
Entrance.
You have to walk out of the store to go into the liquor store, but it's there, right? So, I mean, to your point, yes, they're finding a way around it. But, again, Costco and Wegmans are two very unique grocery stores where I don't think, like, for example, Price Chopper that's in central New York, right? Do they have the kind of money to invest like that? Because I haven't seen it. And and going even further, let's say they allow wine sales in grocery stores, right? You're right. Wegmans is going to do it the right way. Maybe we don't have to worry about selection. Tops the same thing. Does Price Chopper or a small mom and pop grocery store have that kind of money, time, expertise to not take away selection from people?
Maybe not. But they still control the liquor, right? The mom and pops, because they're not selling hard booze in there. You're not going into Wegmans and buying Jack Daniels.
You're right.
Yeah.
So you would still control all the liquor sales.
Yeah, but then you have to wonder how much of the bottom line from a mom and pop liquor store comes from wine versus Jack Daniels.
I'm guessing
Absolute.
wine floats the boat.
I mean, if they're making this much of a stink over it, and that's what's tough about stories like this, is it's hard to tell where the reality lies. Because even if these mom and pop places are able to still continue to operate, it's going to cost them a ton of money.
Sure.
So you understand them arguing for their point. Wegmans wants and Tops and all these grocery stores, they want the ability to make money on this stuff. So you understand them arguing for their point. Like there isn't a middle of the road, nothing to gain, nothing to lose argument person in this discussion.
Yeah.
So where's the truth?
Well,
Where's the truth, Tommy?
Well, if everybody wants to this free enterprise, let them all compete. You're going to get the best price.
Mad. You know, it is interesting. You bring that up. Again, the debate, once again, with the calendar turning over in Albany, allowing grocery stores to sell wine in New York State. Is there another business that is surviving only because other businesses aren't allowed to sell their product?
Oh, like they have a niche.
Yeah. Can you think of one?
I'm sure they're out there. I can't think of it.
Well, like grocery stores are allowed to sell cigarettes and cigars if they want to, so it wouldn't be smoke shops.
True.
What else would there be? I mean, I guess dispensaries.
Yeah.
Well, marijuana dispensaries, but that's relatively new, and you understand why that's kept separate. Wegmans weed aisle.
Yeah, I can't think of like a
That'd be pretty cool.
specific store I would have to stop at for one single thing.
Legally.
Yeah.
You legally have to do that. And even now, I mean, there have been relaxed laws about, for example, you can now buy mixed drinks at restaurants. My wife last night, we got Mexican. She ordered a margarita to go so she could have it at home with our to-go food.
So you get like a to-go cup lid.
Yeah.
Take it home.
It's funny. The funniest thing, the concern when they allowed the to-go liquor sales during COVID was that people would drink on the way home. And these restaurants like, no, we got it covered. It was just a sticker over the top of it.
Yes.
Like where the straw
That'll
goes.
stop you.
I can't figure out the sticker with the straw. So you think it's just a matter of time before this changes?
It has to, man.
Kimmy, do you feel the same way?
I just wonder, are there a lot of people fighting for it? Like, is this something that like people are dying to have? Because like, sure, it would be nice, it would be convenient, but it's not something that every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, you know what? I could really, use a bottle of wine right now. Because again, to your point, most of those places I could just go next door or take a short drive on my way home to stop and get something. It's not something that I feel like I need.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from.
Because you could still get that stuff. It's just not like, one-stop shop.
But you've also only lived in a place where
that's true.
That's okay. Like, how do you know if they made this change in Wegmans and Tops and everyone could sell wine in grocery stores that you wouldn't be like, oh my God, how do we live any other way?
Right. I mean, I would think like in a place like Pittsford, man, these wine people.
But
people, what do
but
you
if
mean,
they're
wine
wine
people?
You know what I'm
snobs,
talking about?
are you talking about wine snobs?
Yeah, they're gonna love this.
But wouldn't they also want a bigger selection? Like, wouldn't they?
And
also...
they'll give it to them.
I mean, look,
they're gonna give them whatever they want. They'll take that burger bar, throw that to the wind, and turn that into their wine area because they're gonna make more money on wine than burgers and fries.
It's kind of what some of these places already have, though. Like right next door, almost. It's just
Tom
a
was bringing that
separate
up.
entrance. Yeah.
And they're gonna do it right. I mean, if there's one company that's already does this in other states, it's Wegmans.
What's interesting is in this story, the argument is being made from one of the lawmakers in Albany that there's a compromise somewhere. We just have to find it. And like a year ago, when this discussion floated again, we had the idea that you allow grocery stores to sell wine, but grocery stores can only sell wine produced in New York State. It gives a shine on local business. It helps them reach more everyday customers.
Yeah.
And it allows stores like Wegmans and Tops, who tout their relationships with local veggie and fruit growers already, to continue doing the same thing, right? Like those pictures you see of guys like holding corn when you're walking into Wegmans, it'll just be a grapevine.
Yeah.
That helps everyone. So the liquor stores would still be allowed to sell wine from outside of New York State and the New York State stuff. You get certain selections at Wegmans and Tops and Highway Falls, Mendon-Meadows Marketplace. But I don't know if that hurts the liquor stores enough where it would still have a massive effect on their bottom line.
So one other little feature I noticed in Florida, there was a smaller grocery store I went into that sold wine, and you could buy a glass of wine while you shopped. They had a stem glass, and you hit the button, and you can get your wine selection, and you can have a glass of wine while you shop.
Okay.
You don't think that would be a huge hit at a Wegmans? Now, you would have a lot of cart collisions. I understand that.
Sure. But there's two questions here to ask.
Right.
The question you asked, would it be a hit? The answer is absolutely.
Big time.
The more important question is that a good idea?
Yeah, because you can only, why not?
What do you mean, why not?
Have a glass of wine while you shop?
You just brought up those people in Pittsburgh that love their wine. Now you're going to let them get all liquored up while they're grocery
You
shopping?
can't get liquored up because it's all regulated.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hear you. No, same with bars in New York State.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got these rules to keep people from
You never see
being
DWIs
overserved.
happening.
Yeah.
No, I would think that is a huge. People would love that.
No,
stuff
again. Love, yes. Good idea. Kimmy, is that a good idea?
Mama's got her wine, shopping.
Mama's got a brand new bag of wine.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so you and your old
Because
man.
I'm thinking the people that want to do this are really going to take advantage.
All right, you and Beefy Boy head down to Wegmans on a Saturday to do your local load up.
To be honest, like when I'm grocery shopping, I just want to get in and out. I'm not making it like a full
Craft
day
beer.
thing.
Craft beer.
I don't know. I don't think my husband would be
One
that
of your
interested.
jam bands playing in a parking lot.
At Wegmans?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a festival.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sticking around to like hang out. I don't know.
All right.
252 WCMF, folks, we're waiting on hold. Again, we're talking about Albany. Again, igniting the debate about wine in grocery stores. Liquor stores don't want it. They say it'll kill mom and pop businesses, and it'll actually hurt the local wine industry with less of a selection inside grocery stores. Grocery stores' argument is, come on. Let's talk to Johnny. Hey, Johnny, what's up, buddy?
As always, Tommy has an amazing idea. I lived in Chicago for 5 years. Not only did they sell liquor, wine, and beer in the grocery stores, but at Mariano's and at Whole Foods, they had bars, and I would get freeloaded just grocery shopping.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Tommy, a second ago?
I'm with Johnny Winesack.
No, they got it there. I get loaded as hell grocery shopping.
That'd be fun, though. It'd make it a lot more fun to grocery shop.
Yeah, it would also be fun to shoot Roman candles at your friends when you're 30, but you're never going to do that again, are you?
They had servers going through the aisles. They would replenish my beer when I was out. It was fantastic.
Sounds like a ball,
That sounds
man.
like a terrible
It's a
idea.
cake party and grocery shopping.
All right, so Johnny, having experienced Illinois and now living in New York here, do you see any problem with wine sales at grocery stores?
No, it's a huge pain in the neck if you're planning a party and you need to get liquor and wine. You have to go to one store. You get beer from another and your food from another. It's a pain in the neck. I don't understand it.
Well, you can get
Just
beer at the
sell
grocery
it all.
store.
Okay, so the concern
beer,
of the small mom and pop liquor stores, that's not a concern for you?
Oh, absolutely, but
F 'em.
I don't go to them.
Okay, so you go to the bigger outfits.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where I get my beer. And
All
if they sold liquor at the same place that I got my beer, I'd buy some liquor.
Okay, Johnny, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, think of that. Think of that beer aisle that is in Wegmans now that I go to. It's vast.
Yeah.
It has every kind of beer, and it didn't stop all these other local breweries from selling their beer, and they're selling their beer in Wegmans.
No, but here's the thing.
So they partnered almost with them.
No, but local breweries would be selling it at any place that sold beer. It's a false equivalency because they want Wegmans to sell their beer so it gets distributed. Like the wineries, I'm sure would want Wegmans and
But people are
Tops.
still going to those breweries.
Yeah, but they would still go to the wineries, right? It's
All right.
if there it would the argument would be if there was a place that like in Canada, there's the
right.
beer store.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, there's specific
Oh, yeah,
beer
the state-
stores.
state liquor.
Exactly. Those would close.
All right.
I remember living in Pittsburgh and being so confused how to buy any booze because there is a separate store for everything. Like you can't
I do
get
want to be
beer.
Pittsburgh, man.
You can't get beer at the same place that you can get like wine and liquor. Like
Really?
you have to go to two separate places and they don't sell any of it in grocery stores.
It happened to me we were at a hockey tournament in Pittsburgh like
It's
a
very
month ago.
confusing.
I walk into a Walgreens, I ask the guy, I go, "Hey, where's the beer?" And he's like this big nerd. And he's like, "Oh, we don't sell beer here,
Yeah.
sir." And I'm like, "Shut up, nerd. How do I know that?"
So you have to go to a
literally
beer
have to go to
store.
a beer store.
Yes.
Yes.
I think about this when the weather sucks. You want to get all your shopping done in one spot.
Oh, here we go. Now
You
here
wanna
goes
schlep-
weather Tommy.
You want to schlep through the miserable weather, making 2-3 runs?
No, I hear you. When the weather is bad, the best thing to do is give people their alcohol as easy as possible.
Thank you. Yes.
Let's take a break. Look, Rochester is a top 5 food city in America. We've covered this at length. And we're known for a couple of things that we do well.
Yeah.
However, this contest that went down at the Winterfest yesterday, and we'll catch all
There
this.
was a Winterfest?
Yeah, they do it every year, stupid. You didn't see it on the news?
Jesus Christ, man, no.
Shut up. This is not a food, despite the contest that they ran,
Yeah.
that we're known for. And it's weird with our climate that we're not known for this
Oh.
food. We'll get into it next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. We had a contest this weekend for a food that Rochester is not known for, which is strange alone. But the fact that we're not known for this food is even more weird because it's the perfect food for our climate.
Oh.
And every guy in Rochester loves to run their mouth about how good they are at cooking this. You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5, WCMF. The Lakeside Winter Celebration was at Charlotte Beach this weekend.
Is it that Polar Plunge?
Yeah, Polar Plunge is a part of it. Yeah. But another big part of it, the best chili in Rochester.
Oh, chili cook-off.
Yep. So to be a part of it, you had to make 5 gallons.
Jesus Christ.
So I guess you have to have enough to hand out to people and for the judges.
And
Okay,
then you got
that
to
makes
tote that
sense.
all the way up to Charlotte on them rickety-ass
If
roads.
you're into chili, you probably, I'm guessing you bring this chili everywhere.
Rickety. Oh, I'm sorry, Kibby. I don't mean.
Did we just have a conversation about potholes?
No, but bro,
You want 5 gallons of hot chili and you hit a pothole? God damn it.
You have a big old mess to clean up.
So the winner of the chili cook-off, and we don't know who it was, won a $200 prize and bragging rights, which there's no way that $200 covered the chili.
Yeah.
If
you
5
made
gallons
that
of
much-
chili, schlep, I get $200.
So, first of all, it's weird we'd have a chili cook-off in Rochester, seeing as how we don't have a big chili scene.
Yeah, we're not known for chili like we are for wings.
Yeah, wings, pizza.
But I guess every place now
plates.
kind of does chili.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's also weird that Rochester doesn't have a chili scene because we're a chili climate community.
But does anywhere have a chili scene just because everybody has their own chili recipe? Like chili is
The
supposed
South
to be a homemade thing. You really? But like, would you go somewhere and order chili, or are you ordering like
in Texas? You would. In the South, you
All
would
right.
probably.
All right.
Which
I'm
is
just
weird
thinking they
'cause-
have other things like chili, not like this, the number one.
No, I get they have other things, but when I've been in the South before, I've had people say you got to go here and you have to have the chili.
Chili.
Okay.
Never,
Even though it's 100 degrees.
which doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
It's a cauldron of boiling meat.
Because up here, I just think of chili as it's a homemade food.
It's
you
a
don't
comfort
go
food.
anywhere and order it.
But why? Why? I've never in my life in Rochester had somebody tell me you need to go here and try the chili. Like, name me a single restaurant that is known, like, the chili is what's getting people in the door. Because here's the thing. If somebody told me, you got to try the chili at this place, I would go.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a big chili guy.
I think most men love chili.
How do you not love chili?
And even like when you go to like Cincinnati, Jesus Christ, when Skyline Chili is like their premier restaurant.
But what's Skyline chili? Is that?
It's
what,
chili and mac
on-
combo.
Chili on spaghetti.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And they go crazy for
Okay.
I like it.
it. It's good.
Yeah. They got chili dogs there, too.
Oh, yeah, they got the chili dog.
The fact that we don't even have like a chili dog joint that's known exclusively for chili dogs. I know Dogtown has them. Don't yell at me. I'm saying, like, Ken's Chili Dogs. And where did the
Just chili dogs?
Where did the chili dogs go? Chili dogs used to be a big part of American society.
Yeah.
They kind of faded into the background. I got lots of questions today.
So what's the famous one in D.C., Ben's Chili Bowl?
I think you're right.
That place is like an institution where like you'll see like the top politicians lining up with everybody else to get that stuff.
Yeah.
People go crazy for it.
Like, think about this, Kimmy. If there was a place that sold their headliner was chili in a bread bowl,
Damn.
you wouldn't go check that out?
I'm not a big chili person.
Get the F out. Why do you not like chili with your
It's
husband?
okay.
You know,
He's
she's a
a-
chick.
No,
I think
he's-
chicks aren't
no,
chili
my
people.
husband's not big
chili
on chili
chicks?
either.
No, ain't no
chili doesn't.
Ain't no chili and chicks.
We could have gone the other way.
I'm not
Ain't
a
no
big.
chicks in chili. Ain't no
No,
chicks
but
in-
Chilean, there are Chilean women.
I think it's like the beans. It's just mushy. It's mushy soup.
They don't like the gas.
Is that
That's
what
what
it
it is.
No, I don't.
They don't want to
It
rip.
doesn't do anything for me. There are so many other things I put above chili.
You
And like,
can't-
don't get me wrong. Like I like it,
Oh,
but I
no,
don't
hear
go
the
out of
way
my
you're
way
talking.
for it.
Okay, the fact that the beans are mushy, you're not eating the right chili.
Right. And they don't want you try ripping ass in a thong, bro.
Rip that thing in half.
Burn that string. It goes off like an ass fuse. Like at the beginning of Mission Impossible.
You know those party poppers? Oh, sorry.
Those party poppers.
No, like I wonder if, like, let's say we get fired tomorrow, which is entirely possible. If I were to say, all right, I'm going to take my chili recipe and I'm going to open up a restaurant.
Everybody's
in Rochester.
gonna say yours sucks, mine's better. That's like the argument for chili. Whenever we do that chili cook-off here, nobody can admit that somebody's chili is better than the others.
I agree with you there,
Yeah.
but the same thing happens with pizza. The same thing happens with
Yeah.
plates. The same,
Yeah.
same thing happens with baked goods. Why?
But I think everybody thinks they can make a good chili. I can't make a good pizza, right?
Okay.
Like those same people, like they can't replicate those other foods. everybody can make a chili.
But here's why Duffy's chili may be successful.
All
Right? Despite the fact that you think your chili might be better than mine, chili is a very time-consuming food, especially if you're trying to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Right? It takes forever to make
Cook
it.
it. It's got to simmer.
All that stuff. If I don't want to, and you can only make a ton of chili. You can't make a single serving of chili.
Right.
Yeah, yours may be better than mine, but mine's ready. Mine comes in a bread bowl.
Do you know where you'll make your money?
Where's that?
Chili food truck.
Ooh. Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Food truck season is the summertime
Yeah.
mostly. The chili food truck would only be successful in the winter.
No, you could do. They have all these winter. They like that Winterfest you go to.
Yeah.
You don't think that chili truck would sell out?
I'm saying, like, I think there's more events for food trucks in the summertime than there are in the winter.
So you wouldn't want to
Probably.
eat chili in the summer, you're saying?
I'm not a summer chili guy.
Oh, I could eat chili anytime.
Look,
man.
I can, but I think about chili when it's cold. When it's chilly. If
All
you,
right. Oh, I get you.
you got it?
But do you branch out? Do you do like your hipster chilies?
What's hipster chili?
You know, like your white chicken,
Oh, I love white chicken chili.
seafood,
Not seafood chili.
that Louisiana sausage and
I could do
shrimp.
that like gumbo chili.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm into all.
So you're into hipster chili.
So if you had a food truck of just all different types of chili.
That's not a bad
I
idea.
know, that is actually a smart idea. Somebody take that and run with it.
Can I tell you? I don't know if this is sacrilegious in the chili religion. Right. Again, we're talking about the Lakeside Winter Celebration in Charlotte Beach this weekend. They had a chili cook-off as part of it, which is strange because Rochester's not known for chili. And it's even more strange that Rochester isn't known for chili, period. Like, there's no, like, chili place everyone goes to. I think my favorite kind of chili is white chicken chili.
It is tasty.
I love white chicken chili.
But at first, I didn't want any part of it when I saw it on the menu. It sounded weak to me.
Oh.
It sounded like something that would be like, watered down. It wouldn't have that bite that I normally associate with chili.
I hear what
But you're right. I love it.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I'll eat any kind of chili. And there are days
Carne.
there are days where the traditional chili just hits better.
Yeah.
But, like, probably 7 out of 10 times, if
Every
white
now and
chicken
then.
chili is the option, I'm going.
All right.
I'm going in.
So there you go.
Piece of cornbread with it.
You don't bet that would be that food truck would be a smash.
That's a great food
And
truck
cheap.
food.
You could sell it on the cheap.
Do we have our $1 million idea? Did we quit
Unless
doing
it
radio?
exists already and nobody's telling us.
I know. I would know about a chili food truck because I'd be eating at the chili food truck. Is it too hard to you bring up? You could be driving with chili at all times.
No, but it's in a contained thing.
Constained.
You don't have like pots bouncing up and down
Can
the
you
road.
cook chili in a food truck? Maybe that's where it would
No,
be
you
tricky.
pre-cook it.
Yeah, and then
But
you-
It's all
then you
done.
just sell it till it's out because you can't make more.
Good point. Well,
you
no,
know?
but we have seen food trucks where it's like we only have so much material, so now we can't sell this because we're out of avocados, or
Yeah.
we can't sell this because we're out of mozzarella.
Right.
Bro, let's open up a chili food
No,
truck.
you doing it. Get involved with that crap.
Okay, well, Kimmy,
Nobody
now.
would eat break room chili.
Nobody would touch
Based on
break
the
room
show.
anything.
Wait, no, I think we got enough of a reputation for food. You don't, but Kimmy and I do.
Like the disgusting
Names.
shrink wrap on the.
The
Look,
break
Kimmy,
room batch of chili.
Okay, don't call
That's
it
it.
that.
Break room batch con carne.
Kimmy, your husband's a firefighter. We'll just put his face on the side of it. Firefighters are known for their chili. Your
That's
husband doesn't
true.
do a good chili?
I can't remember the last time he's made chili.
He's not going to make it as a firefighter. They're going to throw his
It's been
ass
a
out
long
of there.
time since he made chili.
Oh, look, it's not just about looking good in the helmet. You got to know how to make chili, too. Those are the two most important things. 1, look good in the helmet.
Yes.
2, make chili. 3, save people from fires.
All right.
All right, let's take a break. Look, you're not going to be able to help me at all, Tommy, with this.
Or he's got kids or something.
Well, it involves kids, and it involves teenage boys, and you're going to get uncomfortable immediately.
I know teenage boys. I was a teenage boy, and I spent a lot of time with teenage boys when I was a teenage boy.
Kimmy, you might be able to help me here.
Maybe.
Because, look, there's a time in every girl's life, and I speak of this as a girl dad,
Yeah.
where boys start to play a more prominent
Oh,
role.
here they come.
Yep.
And that is
The
starting.
interest shows up.
Yep. And that's
And
starting.
I'm sure it started way before you noticed.
You're right. But now it's in my face.
Yeah.
And it's not something that my daughter did or said, but something that this group of boys did.
Oh.
And I don't know if this is completely innocent and silly, or I don't know if I should have gone down and screamed at all
No.
these teenage
I'm gonna
boys.
say
Can't
no.
do that.
All right, well, hold on. You don't know what they did. You don't know what they did.
All right.
We'll tell you the story next to the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Teenage boys are the worst.
Oh, yeah.
And all men know this because at one point we were teenage boys.
Disgusting.
And it makes it even worse, sir.
Worser.
If you are now the father of a girl, because there's a constant fight brewing inside of you.
Bro, I don't know what you do.
You don't want to be that overbearing dad who embarrasses their kid, and you want them to have their independence.
Yep.
But it can be hard to sit on your hands when you see some things that teenage boys are doing.
Is this something new?
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. Before we get there, by the way, if you want to watch the show.
Watch us talk.
That's right. You can catch it live at WCMF.com, the Odyssey app, or you can catch us on YouTube and Twitch. On both of them, it's The Break Room WCMF. Like, subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like we always tell you in our meetings with our corporate folks that work outside of Rochester, you know, when they subscribe to your YouTube, it lets us know, folks out of town, that you're running a quality program. Okay. It's a quality program you got there. So again, the Break Room WCMF on YouTube and Twitch. All of that brought to you by our good friends at Three Heads Brewing. Three Heads Brewing, quality brewery. You guys want to talk about some shirtless teenage boys?
No.
Well, we're gonna.
Why didn't they have no shirt on?
All right. Why don't they have no shirt on? You know, my oldest plays hockey. And because of that, she and her teammates spend a lot of time around boys they know from school while at the rink.
Okay.
You know, we live at the rink.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago, and I've been fighting bringing this up on the air because it's weird.
Yeah.
I'm watching my daughter practice on the upstairs rink at one of the rinks here in town. So I'm upstairs, the rink's downstairs.
So you're looking down on the action.
You got it.
All right. Bird's eye view.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm looking down, and I see like 10 shirtless 14, 15-year-old boys standing on the glass where my daughter and her teammates are practicing. So they're on the ice, army of shirtless boys wearing only their leg pads and pants.
What are they doing?
They're standing there.
Like taunting the girls?
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. And I do want to be clear up front. It's not totally strange to see like a shirtless guy walking quick through a rink while they're getting ready for a game. But these teenage boys, Tommy, it seems like they had a plan.
Did they just get done with the game?
No,
What's
they were
the
getting
deal?
ready for practice.
Okay.
All right. So
they're changing.
All of these teenage boys are subtly, like low-key flexing while standing on the glass at this
How
girls' practice.
pathetically funny was this?
It was very funny. But they were trying to get the girls' attention, obviously.
Okay.
And it was the weirdest moment of my girl dad life thus far.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, put your damn shirts on, you little pervs. Because I know what you're trying to do.
Right.
And that's my little girl out there.
Hey, cut it out.
Keep your hairless chest away from my daughter. But on the other hand, as I had the, dad anger bubbling up inside of me, I thought to myself,
What's that?
what am I going to do here? Am I going to run downstairs and scream at a bunch of 14, 15-year-old boys that I don't know to put your shirt back on? And what happens if they tell me to go F myself?
Yeah,
nothing. You can do nothing.
You're just going to look like an idiot.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to fight an army of shirtless teenage boys inside a hockey rink.
So what if you said put your shirt on and they said simply, why?
My daughter's out there. I know what you're trying. I know what you're doing. I know what you're trying to do.
Of course you know what you're doing.
So here's the thing.
All right.
There was nothing I could do.
No.
And even in the moment, I'm trying to figure out, as a dad watching this, if this was something I should want to do something
Well, you
about.
got to keep an eye on this action.
Well, here's the thing. As your kids get older, I'm having this experience with a daughter, but I'm sure it happens with boys as well. When that romantic aspect of life really starts to appear, it is difficult to know if and when and how you should insert yourself as a parent. And that's where I'm at right now. And using this story as an example, those boys are trying to get the girls' attention.
Right.
And we all did stupid things as teenage boys at that time, too. And in that moment, it's totally innocent, fine. Right. But I don't like it.
Of course not.
I don't like it at all. And I want to do something. I
Well,
know
you have to put yourself in that boy's bare chest. I think of how you would want to be approached if you were shirtless jackassing at the ring.
Well, here's the thing. I had big boobs at 14, 15.
You were the kid with the shirt on.
Yeah, no, I was not going out with my shirt off to try. That was not going to impress anybody. In fact, there would have been girls that would have been jealous at 14, 15 of the bosoms I had. So I can't relate to that.
All right, so you can't even put yourself in that position.
Well, I don't know.
But to his point, the way you would want a girl's dad to talk to you. Like,
Or not.
what would you have respected at 14?
Well, like, no, if any guy came downstairs when I was 14, 15 and said, hey, put your shirt back on, or even was like, hey, like, try to be cool, dad, hey, guys, listen, we all hate shirts. I'm with you, but you got to have your shirt on inside. We would have made fun of that guy mercilessly. So there's nothing I even could have done short of getting someone who works for the rink to go down and tell them, hey, you have to have your shirt on inside the rink.
The rink management.
Yes. Which, that thought did cross my mind.
Would it be funny if you went down there and took your shirt off, too, and just started fucking? Go, boys, this is how you do
clear
it.
out real quick.
This is how I used to get the girls.
Well, no, but here's the thing. That would only embarrass my daughter. I don't know if that
but
would
it might shut
embarrass
the whole operation down.
I don't know, unless we're all like a shirtless team. Also, how would I explain to those boys' parents why I'm now shirtless with their teenage
It's a work in
sons?
progress.
Out there.
All right, so there's really nothing you can do except just let it happen.
Okay, so you have no experience with this. Fine, I understand. Kimmy, you have been a teenage girl. Sure. You lived through stuff like this.
I don't know if my dad's a good example or a bad example. I don't know, because my dad always wanted to be bestie with all the guys.
So he would have his shirt off.
Probably. Okay. Like because I mean, there were a lot of kids that I grew up with in our neighborhood, like that were boys that my dad like always wanted to play basketball with, or he would taunt them because like a lot of them were Miami Dolphins fans, so he'd love to like go out of his way to taunt them when the Bills would win. But if the Bills lost, he'd avoid them for like the next month.
I'm with your dad on that. Everything is fine there.
But I remember my dad just wanted to always be the cool dad.
Okay, so your dad would not.
So he's that guy.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And look, here's the thing. I can already see the Facebook messages coming in. I understand that I was a massive tool douche as a 14, 15-year-old kid. Right? But we're past that now.
And it's your daughter.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I have done bad things. I have made mistakes. I've embarrassed myself and put parents in bad situations, but it's not my responsibility to protect my little princess.
Yeah, it is.
Put your shirt back on! 252 WCMF, like 10 shirtless boys 2 weeks ago at the hockey rink. I'm watching this from a distance. Like subtly flexing with no shirts on the glass while my daughter and her teammates are practicing. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Let's talk to John. Hey, Johnny. How are you, buddy?
How's it going, brother?
Good. What do you got?
My daughter, she's going to be 14 in a month, but she had a boyfriend last summer, and she's with him still now. But when they first started dating, I did a little brief talk with him. Say, hey, that's my baby girl. You hurt her. I hurt you. You know, whatever.
No, it's always good to threaten a teenage boy. That's a good move.
But they're like, whatever. He's a good, seemed like a good kid. But my daughter had one of her best friends sleep over, and they wanted to go for a walk. And she was like, oh, okay, we're going to go for a walk. Fine. But she didn't say anything about going and meeting up with him for a walk.
Ooh.
So I get on my bike, and I'm going to go for a ride or whatever. I get down to the end of the street, and I see my daughter, him, and her friend. They happen to see me. He decides to, all of a sudden, as soon as he sees me, he jumps into the ditch. I pull over and put my cigarette out or whatever, and I'm like, oh, why is he jumping in the ditch? And my daughter's like, I don't know. And why is he still in the ditch? Because I caught you. Well, he finally gets out of the ditch, and he's got mud down his pants, up and down his arm. I was like, don't be hiding it.
Okay,
don't be honest about it.
That's a pretty heady move by Dad. I do love the fact that you were out for an exercise bike ride while smoking a cigarette. That also was a great part of the story.
No, it was my motorcycle, not a
I thought he was on a bike. Yeah.
No, sorry, my motorcycle.
I was gonna say because I haven't seen that Peloton commercial.
Yeah, really.
John, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. All right, so you just want open honesty.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You want because you want to see what you want to see. You don't want open honesty. You want the open honesty you're expecting from your kid, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. But I guess it's the respect factor. It always comes down with old men to respect, and I include myself in that old men discussion, right? Like, just don't treat me like I was born. Yeah, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. I see with my own eyes what's going on my bicycle with my cigarette hanging out of my mouth.
Has your daughter gone to like co-ed parties yet? Like where it's kind of somebody's like birthday party, but there's a bunch of kids. Like it's a pool party or something with a bunch of kids.
Not yet.
Okay,
so
interesting.
what's great about hockey is that it takes up all of their time, right?
And they're exhausted.
Yeah.
Exactly. What sucks about hockey is there are always boys everywhere
Okay.
at the rink. And look, having played hockey as a kid, you go near a boy hockey player, I will lock you in a room for the rest of your life. Those are the one type of guys you do not date. And every mother that can hear me that has a son that plays hockey, you can be mad if you want. You know I'm right.
Okay.
You know I'm right. Bunch of smooth-talking scumbags.
I would be more fearful of those house parties than anything.
Yeah, because at least with the hockey rink, it's all right in front of you.
It's well lit. It's cold.
It's well lit.
Not always well lit.
Well, it is cold.
Yeah.
But pool party? No way. No effing way.
Well, what do you mean?
Pool
Okay,
party,
Jesus.
there's no way I'm letting my daughter, as a young teenager, go to some
Guess what?
goddamn
It's gonna
co-ed
happen.
pool. But that's
Any
the
kid
one
with
I
a pool
fear.
shows up.
Hell, we got adult buddies I wouldn't let go to a pool
Well,
party.
that's a different story.
You know that's
You're
right.
for different reasons there.
But where do you think they started out? As young pool party goers.
Where? Okay, so what's the age you'd be okay with a girl going to a pool party?
College.
College?
Yeah.
I
No,
can't.
I remember like as a kid, like somebody in the neighborhood would have a birthday party and there'd be boys and girls there in the pool.
I'm talking more about high school.
But
Somebody's
you're
got a
friends
pool.
with those kids all the way through. I don't know. I think it happens at a younger age than you think, innocently, you know?
All right, so let me ask you this question then, because part of this is what's okay. The other part of it is having to explain it to your kids. So
Yeah.
let's do a role play here.
All right,
All right, you be dad.
All right, dad.
Yeah, and I'll be 13-year-old girl because I
Okay.
can play that role really well. All right,
all right.
hold on. So my friends are having a pool party and everybody's going. So I need you to drop me off at 5 o'clock at Dan's house.
Okay. You ain't going to no Dan's goddamn serving up my daughter pool party.
You can say that to your 13-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But all my friends are going.
Everyone's going. No, I didn't say. I didn't ask. I said I need to be. Everyone's going. I need to be there at 5.
Okay.
I need to be there at 5.
First of all,
5.
age-appropriate bathing suit, 2 towels on all times, out of the pool, and then back into regular clothes.
Okay, so there are people listening now believing you're being an overbearing father
Yes.
that isn't let your kid having independence. And you've said about kids that have overbearing parents, the
you're
second they
right.
get set
You're
loose, they go
right.
nuts.
Yeah, but this is a bad one, Pat.
What?
Listen, I've been to pool parties as a kid. You've been to pool parties as a kid. They're bad, especially if there's no parental supervision.
Well,
Well,
that would be something you'd want to know as a parent.
Yeah, but then again, even parental supervision, depending on the parent,
Yeah.
changes, right? Because,
Right.
like, you
different
know,
rules at different houses.
but it used to be like I would go and talk to the parents of my kids' friends,
Yeah.
right? And like see if they're on the level. And like again, with hockey, it's great because I know these parents intimately. We see each other 3 times a week, 5 times a week. But like if it's someone from school, Kimmy, I can have a conversation with somebody.
And you don't know.
I think they're on the level. I could leave and they could go down to the basement and watch football.
Right.
And their kids are all outside alone.
And here's another rule. You're not allowed to go to anybody's house that has a hot tub. Hot tubs are off limits to anyone under 21 years of age.
Why are you talking like the Boys Beware PSA that we played all those years ago?
No hot tub.
Don't you dare.
I'm going to tell you right now, no hot tub.
252 WCMF, 252-9263. A bunch of teenage hockey players took their shirts off, just had their hockey pants and leg pads on. A couple weeks ago at my daughter's practice, they were standing on the glass while my daughter and her teammates were practicing, and they were all like subtly flexing, I guess, trying to impress them.
Yes.
I'm watching this happen from a bird's eye view upstairs, and I want to go down there and be like, hey, put your shirts back on, you hairless pervs. But I knew that would be bad. But I also did not like watching what was happening because I know what you're trying to do there.
Sure.
So, like, when it comes to the more general stuff, I understand a dozen shirtless teenage boys at a hockey rink is something that not everyone goes through on a daily
All right.
basis. But, like, for the girl dads, the one that raised kids, the ones that have them now, if that kid that she likes or is her boyfriend or whatever shows up at the house and is short and rude with you, do you say something as a dad?
The kid's rude.
You feel like he's not giving you the respect you deserve.
Like, if you
He's
see,
got an attitude.
well, okay, if the kid has a romantic link to your daughter is always polite to your face or rude to your face, which one would you rather see?
Well, you're running a polite kid.
Oh, you sure? Because I was a very polite kid. I was very charming. Parents loved me.
Little
me.
too polite,
All right.
Tommy.
But then
Got
you want
that
that.
old Duffy charm, spiky hair.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that. What? But I also don't want to deal with some wise ass jackass.
All teenage boys are wise ass jackasses.
I think I would take polite.
So you want polite, and then you're like, oh, that's a nice boy.
Well, I know for sure, like with my wife, if she sees, which is weird, She hates wise asses.
Okay. Yeah, does she? Does she hate wise asses?
Like she'll start telling me about kids, like but when she worked in the school, like they were a problem. I go, I was that kid.
Or you were like, that's nothing.
Yeah, he's doing it wrong. But you know what I'm saying? Like so, like I think it just makes life easier if you have a play kid, even if he's a closet wise ass. I take closet wise ass.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
I mean, you were the one that had the interactions with the boys when you were a teenager.
Yeah.
Or at least you saw your friends. It was always the charming ones that were the worst when you were away from the parents, right? It was always the guys that knew.
Well, those are always the ones you liked, right? I mean,
smooth boy.
Yeah. Smooth
Said that
talking. Well, no, in defense of you, I mean, these shirtless boys were all smooth boys. I mean, there's not a hair on them. They're 14 and 15, you know? We were all there.
I know.
Let me ask you this. So let's say hypothetically, you know, your daughter brings a boy over. They're watching TV in the living room. Everything's fine. They think you can't hear them, and he's rude to her. Tells her to shut up, or you're stupid. That's stupid. Do you step in and say something?
Ooh.
Make it a face, Kimmy.
I would think it would be really hard not to.
Well, but you're also of the school of leave it alone and let them figure it out. You don't want to be overbearing dad.
Well, maybe you have the conversation with your kid when they leave and say, like, do they always say that to you? You know what I mean? Like maybe you point it out to her.
Don't say stupid things. Bringing it on yourself a little bit. I mean, what you said was sound pretty stupid.
Maybe
you point it out to her and hope that she knows that that's not okay.
He calls her a bitch.
Well, Jesus.
Oh, I think you might.
Was she dice clay?
Jump in. I mean, I think you would.
Dickory dog.
I mean, you're the parent. I would think it would be extremely difficult for a parent to stay out of that.
I mean, am I within my right to step in there?
I think you toss.
so.
No, the kid's got. You got to toss the kid out of the house.
Get out!
You go Ralph Crendon on him. No, you got to toss that kid.
By the way, did you just do a dice and a Ralph Cramden reference in 2 back-to-back sentences in a show in 2024?
I think you got to toss the kid. I mean, they're going to be that disrespectful.
And I'm within my rights there?
Yes.
Okay, well, no.
But
look.
I don't know how she's going to handle it. Like, if I throw that kid out because he drops the B word on her, is she going to be so embarrassed that I'm doing even more damage? You know, if that gets back to school that...
Well, yeah, but you don't talk to my kid like that.
But is there a way of doing it delicately?
Hey, please leave before I murder your face. Call my daughter that.
I don't know. Can you do it like how... You know how in those mob movies when they're first kind of nice to you? You know, I understand, you know, you have a little problem over here, you know, with the language and everything, and now you just can't leave.
But you want him to leave.
Yeah, but now you just can't.
But now so you're going to beat a teenage boy within an inch of his life?
Yeah, has some fat buddies with, you know, billy clubs. No, I don't know how you... I guess I don't want to set my daughter off where she's going to be traumatized.
Okay.
Where I make things 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I understand.
So maybe I pretend I didn't hear it. And I go back to having a drink.
Wow!
Or I'm hoping my wife hears it.
Oh, no, that would be the worst situation.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
My wife would.
Oh, me too.
Right.
Bro, it would be like the Gambinos. And I'm fine with that.
We got Facebook messages coming in. You can always get us at WCMF for the Break Room Facebook page. Brett writes us, you should have found those boys' parents and told them to get shirts on their sons. There are girls right there. If you couldn't find the parents, you were within your rights to walk down there and tell them to get away from the rink with no shirts. No, I wasn't.
It's not your rink. It's not even your jurisdiction to do anything.
I don't have a jurisdiction. No. I'm a dad. There's no...
It's not even your house. Yeah.
You can't go like bossing people around. It's not even your place.
Yeah. I will say he brings up an interesting factor, like the other parents. Like, would the way you treat... Would that relationship with that kid change and the way you treat that kid change based on how well you know his parents?
I think that, I mean, we all have friends, right? I have friends that have teenage boys around the same age as my daughter, and they know each other. Yeah. I like those people. I will say this. If one of their kids was rude or mean or did something
would you
not
feel
great,
more comfortable saying something?
No, but
okay.
It would definitely make me hate those parents.
Oh, okay.
And I know that's petty and stupid and small of me.
But that's human nature, man. I mean, you wear the sins of your kids, right?
No, but it would flip a switch. Like if there's someone I really, really liked, I'm not going to address it with them because look. It's out of my. It's your kid. I understand, but I will. But you don't raise a better kid. And here's the thing. I'm sure that my daughter said the same exact thing. Has done things. I'm good. Oh. Has done things like that before.
Yeah.
I wonder how it reflects on me.
Well, I mean, everything reflects on you, right? What you do in life. I mean, everybody's paying attention.
But I like to think I raised her the right way until those moments where you realize you didn't.
Okay.
All right, let's take a break.
Right.
There's a business that is looking to make things good again
Oh.
after a terrible week last week, which is interesting because they're not going to be around much longer.
Oh, they're going out?
Yeah, we talked about this, and it's actually worse than we had
Oh.
heard. And we'll get into it next in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Score 1 for the people that believe if you make enough noise, you'll get whatever you want.
Good.
Now, normally those people are annoying, but in this case, they have a legitimate bitch.
So what happened?
Well, when you pay money for something and you don't get that thing, and then you don't get a refund, and you bought it from a reputable company, I mean, what the hell else are you supposed
Sounds
to do?
like you're screwed, though, bro.
It turns out, maybe not.
All right.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5, WCMF. So a story that was all over the news in the greater Rochester area late last week. Ruby Gordon Home Store announced that they were closing their doors forever. That was the first story that hit early in the week. And we talked lovingly about Ruby Gordon and how they'd been open almost a century. And we all remember those commercials. And it was going to be weird that another cornerstone name brand Rochester homegrown business was going to be gone. So then the next day, there was a story, I believe, on News 8. They talked to a gentleman who said he went around November, I think it was, to go buy a living room set from Ruby Gordon during their clearance sale. Said he spent $1,000. And he went home and waited for everything to be delivered.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Not great. Because he waited and he waited and he waited, and then he went back in to figure out where this thing was and talk to somebody. And he says they not only didn't have an answer for him, they tried to upsell him on more expensive stuff. Then he went home and waited and waited and waited and had yet to get either a refund or the stuff that he purchased.
Not really a response either, right?
Well, because he said the company had gone into bankruptcy, they're closing. Yeah. This was the gentleman talking about his frustrations on News 8.
I can't get a hold of anybody. Now we're taking on the small claims court, but how do we even do that everything that is online, their corporate office, everything that's corporate is their Henrietta store, the phone number, so you can't even call a 1-800 number or talk to anyone other than the number that's posted on their website.
What sucks even more, you can't even get over that stuffy nose.
So they're not answering their phone calls. They're not answering his emails.
He didn't even know where to turn. Yeah,
he's getting nothing out of this. It's like they don't exist. But I'm looking at your store.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
So when we told you that story last week, we thought it was a one-off, unique situation.
Yeah.
Until we went to the phones. We heard from a guy who said he spent $3,500
oh, that's right.
on a new living room set. Same situation as this guy from Ruby Gordon, and never showed up.
Yeah.
And he said he had just written off the money because he, too, said that he wasn't going to be able to get a refund until the bankruptcy was settled. And then the night that we did that story on our show, more news stories. One woman wrote me on Instagram and said they lost $7,000 in furniture. That same woman ended up going on 13 Wham that night to tell her story. So a lot of bad press for Ruby Gordon.
Yeah, but there is no bad press when you're going out of business.
Turns out this press was so bad, there is.
What you
or
can't hurt
the timing of it.
Seems
that way.
In the response to all the complaints, the CEO of Ruby Gordon, Aaron Ruby, said he was terrible. He felt terribly bad for the impact of the store closure and the bankruptcy.
Okay, all right.
So today, customers will have an opportunity to go to the store, and I'm going to read you a quote from News 8. Customer inquiries, and a liquidation sale. So, the customer inquiries, I get. It says they're going to try and offer refunds and figure out where everything is for the people that don't have their stuff with yet. And I'm sure, based on the amount of people we've heard affected by this, it's going to be pretty busy.
Yeah, I would guess.
So, that being said, why, after the stories you've heard the last couple of days, would anybody go to a liquidation sale at Ruby Gordon?
Yeah,
for super discount.
Yeah, I'm taking a... Yeah. Other things we may or may not deliver to your house.
Unless I can walk out of the store with
that's
that
the
item
only thing.
in that second.
Carry out.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm spending
No,
that
because
money.
you've already screwed the pooch, man. You're absolutely right.
So I understand that there are people today that have been affected by this in a negative way.
Yeah.
And they saw this story and they go, oh, thank God I'm going to get this taken care of. There is no way that this is going to go smoothly.
Of course not.
At Ruby Gordon today.
Because that's not really an answer, what they said. We're going to figure this out. Like, we don't need to do anything. You need to either give me furniture or money. Like, don't involve me in this. Like, I somehow also screwed up. Like, hey, let's work this out, man.
So
you know what I mean?
I think the problem here, by the way, I'm trying to find another story to get a different quote because that was written vaguely on News 8, and I know that it was written better on other. It was more clear.
Stations with writers.
But No, I mean, it sounds like the reason why all of this stuff started happening is when the company declared bankruptcy, people outside of the business took over the finances and like the store. So it wasn't.
It's out of their hands.
So the company says, take it with for whatever you want to take it with. But yes, it sounds like they didn't expect this to happen as quickly as it did. There were some unforeseen circumstances of having to declare bankruptcy, and that's what caused all the issues here. So it's possible that the folks who own Ruby Gordon are legitimately horrified by what happened.
It's true.
They feel terrible, and they are doing everything they can today to try and make whole the people that have had these issues.
Okay.
It's also possible, again, because we're a very cynical show, that they don't care. The press was so bad that they had to come out and say something.
Could be that.
But, I mean, to their point, to give them, I guess, credit, like you said, you're not going to be a business in a couple weeks.
Right.
You don't have to do damage control.
I do also wonder, because I'm guessing, if you work for this company, you're out of a job as soon as this is over.
Yeah.
Who's signing up to take that shift?
Well,
it's a guaranteed paycheck for a little while longer.
Last guy Larry, right?
Last guy Larry.
But I mean, if you know that maybe there's nothing you can do in certain instances, like I don't want to be the one getting bitched at all day.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, maybe you see like the higher ups that are still there.
But why would they be there?
Well,
they might be gone too.
No, but they're the ones working through the bankruptcy. When a company shuts down, there are still like people that have to work there until the day they're no longer a company.
Like a shell, yeah.
Kimmy, I'm with you. If I work like an hourly job,
I wouldn't want it.
Yeah, you're shell guy.
I'm out.
But then again, I mean, if you have a guaranteed check a couple more days before you get blown out.
Guess it just depends on.
I don't care about
But you're going to get a me.
Furniture money right now.
The guy that does not care about his job.
Oh, you mean that way?
Me. You're going to get a me. You're going to get Winn-Dixie Tommy.
Good luck, everybody.
Rub my butt and all this stuff, man. I don't care.
252 WCMF. Ruby Gordon Home announced today they will be doing everything they can to make customers whole after the flood of unhappy responses. People never getting deliveries, not being able to get refunds. We heard about 3 of them specifically. News stories all late last week. People with similar stories. I guess they are opening today, and they will allow people to not only deal with their issues they've had, but it says, again, a bankruptcy liquidation sale. How discounted would this stuff have to be for you to roll the dice on a later this week
delivery?
delivery?
It would have to be like 90% off, right?
Okay. Well, look, 90% off.
But you still may not get it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Kimmy, what's 90% off of 5,000? We're not going to try and do math without a calculator.
Be like a couple $100.
90% off. 500.
$500.
Would that be $500?
No, not 500.
Yeah,
90%.
90% would be 500.
No, of $5,000. What'd you say?
90% off of $5,000.
It'd be a couple $100.
It would be $500.
All right, so let's say it's $500 for something would have cost you $5,000.
80% would be $1,000, and 10% would be $500.
Okay,
$500. Okay,
all right, $500.
So $5,000 furniture set. It's a nice furniture set,
Right.
really nice.
Top shelf.
Yeah. But $500 still a lot of money.
Yeah.
Would you spend $500 today on a $5,000 set, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we'll bring it to you Friday." But they say it like that.
So their voice trails off and up in the end. Kind of fades off into the roof.
Would you do it?
I don't know. I mean, if it's
You are
something
so stupid.
No,
You're
but
the
if
stupidest person.
But if it's something really cool you wanted, you may roll the dice.
Do we figure out what 90%?
You're at 500.
Yeah.
Right.
So 10% would be. Yeah.
I may roll the dice.
All right, Kimmy. Well, Kimmy's in a much different financial situation than you and your sugar mama.
I'm probably taking the risk.
Really?
If it's something nice that I know that I can normally not afford.
Yeah, I mean, she's a new home buyer. She's house poor.
It would be hard to walk in.
Poor folk.
It would be hard to walk in there and not see that deal sitting there and not take advantage.
Here comes poke salad Kimmy.
A lot of Elvis references today. A lot of Elvis today.
Not written by Elvis.
And nothing was written by Elvis. Kimmy, you'd be essentially willing to part with $500 for nothing.
But if I've already made the decision that I'm gonna go look,
right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm probably staying away from it altogether. But if we decided like let's go take a peek, it would be hard to not walk out with something.
Like I don't know. I haven't bought furniture in so long. I don't know what $5,000 looks like in furniture anymore.
Not as much as you think.
Yeah, that's I'm guessing, right? Because I remember back in the day, you could fill your whole house for $5,000.
Here we go. Man, it has been the
And now nothing. What do you get, an end table?
old man take all day. Like even in the commercial breaks.
IKEA.
Yep.
We come back, we wrap it up, we tell you what we're doing tomorrow next to the break room on CMF. That's going to be a wrapperoo.
The old Monday wrapperoo.
For a Monday break room CMF that makes tomorrow Tuesday. You know what that means?
Oh, it's back to the old segment.
How's that go?
What's Kimmy doing in the hood? Hooding it with Kimmy.
Kimmy's got her post with the neighborhood app.
Yep.
She has removed street names and town references. She's going to read it out loud. Everyone that can hear us, we're going to listen for little clues and nuances that Kimmy will reveal throughout the reading, Tommy. And because everybody listening knows every stereotype about every town, village, neighborhood in the greater Rochester area, we're going to figure out where they whining, and we're going to do it just after 9 o'clock tomorrow in the break room on CMF, plus a whole bunch more stuff.
Wow.
Yep. All right, we got to get out of the way. For Kimmy,
Yep.
who, despite being broke, is willing to roll the dice on a $500 furniture gamble. For Tommy Muley, who, we'll get that coach to you. I'll be there right back. My name's Pat Duffy. We'll see you tomorrow morning in the break room, 6 a.m. on 96.5 WCMF.